All right. Is everything working all right this time? I don't know. Like, I just can't press the button and go live. I have no idea what's going on. Like, I've been trying to get this to work, trying to get it to go live so I can like spend the first part of Labor Day evening with you guys because there is nothing else for me to do right now. Spend all night playing games, spend all night like watching shows, like and now I'm just like, okay, it's time to stream, time to get back to work, and yet it won't let me do it. It won't let me talk about Starfield. It won't let me talk about like the narratives that are coming out and like the gaming YouTubers and everything that's going on. Like I was even gonna talk about Nick Ricada, but I'm so struggling getting this stream going that I have no idea. Like, okay, let's see. Let's check. Talk about Starfield. It won't let me. Okay, okay. It seems all right. It seems all right now, but it's been like randomly cutting off. I've been getting these weird notifications about how allegedly like I have a banned word in the title, which I can't imagine what that would be. Like there's nothing inappropriate in my video title. Like is it chiller? Is it like Shill? Is it Starfield? Starfield? Like, are you not allowed to talk about like how Starfield is shaping up to be, an extremely underwhelming experience in spite of what the gaming YouTubers are saying, in spite of what like people are trying to pull, in spite of everything, this is gonna be the best game ever. Like this is gonna be the game that's gonna steal away Zelda's Game of the Year award. This is gonna be the only game that can compete with Tears of the Kingdom. In reality, Tears of the Kingdom is uncontested, right? Hogwarts Legacy couldn't do it. Resident Evil 4 Remake couldn't do it. Baldur's Gate 3 couldn't do it. And now we're kind of on the final stretch here. We are like, this is the last major game I think that's coming out this year. There's nothing else I think that can even really come close to what Tears of the Kingdom accomplished. And honestly, real talk, the only reason we're talking about Starfield at all is because we didn't necessarily know like what the game actually was, right? Going into this, it was very much like a No Man's Sky syndrome kind of thing where people were trying to tell us that oh, this is going to be a masterpiece. Like this could be like this is a game where you can explore an entire universe. You have like thousands of planets, all of them completely crafted to have an engaging single player component with incredible quest lines, an unforgettable story, great shooting mechanics, great enemy variety. Like the stars are yours to explore in Starfield. Like this is your field, right? Your field of stars. It was a complete joke, right? It was very much like very reminiscent of No Man's Sky, and this was kind of brought up a lot, even among like the most hardcore core of shills, was that like, oh yeah, this is going to be the same thing as No Man's Sky, but it's going to be like better, well executed. It's going to be more interesting. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. It's going to have all sorts of things going for it. Like it's going to be a true AAA experience. It's going to be everything that No Man's Sky promised itself it was going to be, and in the end, like what happened? We get a mid Xbox exclusive that nobody's really talking about, that no one really cares for at all, and it seems more and more as if like people are desperately trying to make the situation. They're trying to cope by trying to pretend as if like the vast majority of the audience are upset with like superficial things. Ah, this is the third time I'm watching this fucking ad. Like, come on. Let's see. Let me set this up. Okay, that's good. Okay, am I still? There we go. Okay. I'm so paranoid about this because it almost feels like. Oops, did I close it again? Oh, wait. There it is. Okay. Okay, so I've tried doing this a couple of times already. So it's like, okay, let's start off with our old favorite YouTuber to cover, Review Tech USA. Let's see what he has to say about Starfield and the people who are covering and talking about this game.
Skip it up and that up. So Starfield is a game. Pronouns! I have played a few hours of it. I'm actually testing it on integrated graphics. Upcoming video. Make sure you stick around and sub to this channel.
So like he's played a few hours of it and he's not doing a video like talking about the game or like how it holds up or like comparing Todd's lies with like the reality. He's not doing that. Like he's making a video complaining about what another YouTuber's experience, specifically something that I feel very strongly about, the usage of pronouns in character creation screens. Now, I have and I'm being completely serious here. Like I have not bought games over this kind of thing, right? This is the kind of thing that's completely unacceptable to me, right? And it's becoming more and more of an issue with other people. I think like, there's a reason so many people get upset with this because it is woke nonsense that does not belong in video games. Let's make that very clear.
Channel to check that out, as it actually runs surprisingly well. I was shocked by that, but whatever. Not going on another tangent. So Starfield has been released, or there's early access, I should say. The official release date, if you're getting it on Game Pass or whatever the case may be, is September 6th.
So it's like it's available, right? The game is out there, right? People are playing it. I think streamers have gotten a hold of it. Like we know what the game is like, right? We know it's boring, we know it's stale, we know it's trite, but nobody wants to talk about it. Like all anybody wants to do is deflect and try to talk about like something completely unrelated, right? They are trying desperately to keep you from noticing that like Tears of the Kingdom is a far superior game. Like so much so that it's not even really close, honestly. Like they aren't even really comparable. But like the reason Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3 were hyped so hard was because like the industry really has nothing else. Like when you get right down to it, the industry is really struggling to keep up the facade that like third-party publishers, the creators behind these lesser games like Starfield, like Hogwarts Legacy, like Diablo 4, like Street Fighter 6, like Resident Evil 4 Remake, like Forspoken, like Final Fantasy 16, like all of this stuff cannot hold a Nintendo cannot hold a candle to what Nintendo is doing on like even a bad day. Right? Like Nintendo is so far beyond the rest of the industry when it comes to the quality of the products, both hardware and software, that and online services. I think that can be classified as its own thing. Like Nintendo is so far beyond the rest of the industry that their entire business model of just promoting bad games, tricking people into buying them, and then just turning around and hyping up the next bad game is like threatened because more and more people are like not supporting every new major release as they come out. Let's see. Where was I going with this? But like, yeah, more and more it feels like these big AAA products, stuff like Starfield, aren't getting people excited the way they used to, and more and more people are starting to like notice things and like point things out about these products that people like Rich are desperately trying to ignore.
But if you bought it, you have early access. And there have been reactions to this game. My reaction is that it's another Bethesda game. If you love Bethesda, you're going to love it. If you don't love Bethesda,
If you love Bethesda, you're a pleb and have no idea, have no taste. You have no idea what's actually out there. You don't play Nintendo games. You have no experiences with good open world titles.
you're not going to like it. This isn't going to change your opinion on that. So if you're a
So it's the
fan of
same thing we've
Skyrim,
always gotten. It is Fallout in space. That's what they gave us here. Fallout in space. There is no innovation. There is no creativity. There's nothing. It's just the same thing we've already gotten.
and other Oblivion, or
You blew it.
so if you're a fan of Skyrim,
You blew it.
so if you're a fan of Skyrim and other Elder Scrolls games, you're in luck. If you're not, I would say pass, but that's just me. Pronouns! But that's not what this video is about. This video is about people losing their minds over Starfield, and it's not because of the frame rate. It's not because it's unoptimized. It's not because of the mediocre combat.
We're talking about an aspect of the game that becomes apparent before you even like really start playing, right? We're talking about a critical problem that goes beyond the scope of the game and becomes like a cultural issue, right? The concept of the pronoun, the chosen pronoun, I suppose we should say, is completely retarded, and everyone should be speaking out against it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't it doesn't have any merit. Like, it doesn't have any history. Like, no, it's just deplorable, right? Like, your pronouns are assigned to your biological sex, right? Your gender, right? It isn't changed on a whim, and like you can't just like make up your own pronouns or do this or that. Like, you you are what you are. You don't get to decide. Like that, it's a cultural thing, all right? And you cannot go against the culture. Your counterculture is ignorant. It's stupid. It makes no sense. And more and more people are starting to call you out on your nonsense, right? Like it doesn't make any sense, and I don't respect it.
It's because of the character creation screen.
And I'm also it's also worth noting that I am talking about the game. I am talking trash about the game itself. I am talking trash about like the frame rate and the optimization and like the gameplay. Like, that was what I was ranting about like before the game even started. Like, I think the game itself like matters more than any of that. But the reality is the game itself is not that very. It's just not very good. So like it doesn't even matter for me, right?
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And the hypocrisy of one person here is incredible. We'll save the best part for last. So this dude popped up in my Twitter feed. Apparently he's a heavy metal singer. I went to go check out his YouTube channel. He has flowing hair and he's incredible. And this heavy metal man is heavy metal tired. That was terrible, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, you're terrible, Rich.
Pronouns breaking the immersion of his games. I'm not kidding. This is what he wrote on Twitter. Requested a refund.
What exactly is wrong about that? Like, what exactly is wrong about requesting a refund when you realize a game is woke, right? Like, put your money where your mouth is, right? You're supposed like these people act like you're being unreasonable when you talk about how like your immersion being broken by like stupid shit, like by stupid nonsense like this, right? They talk like you're being unreasonable, like you don't know what you're talking about, like, oh man, in the future we're all gonna have fake pronouns, but no, it's that's if anything, it seems like more and more people are pushing back against it.
Fun for Starfield. F Bethesda and F the political radical weirdos in the Western gaming industry, staining with ideological clown world BS what should be first and foremost an escape from it. Back to Skyrim. Go back to Skyrim. Have fun there. I'm gonna, give you a reality check.
Skyrim was woke too, but
About Skyrim in a little bit. Someone wrote to him, back to Skyrim, aka same company. Just as artificial as not drinking Bud Light but switching to a different beer literally owned by the same people.
people keep doing that about the Bud Light thing, but like people are like the entire company is going downhill. Right? Like people like Bud Light is their primary thing, but like people know they own different brands. Like I don't understand why the left seem to think that people are just buying beers from different companies because from the same company, because that isn't true at all. Like people know that the company owns different brands. Like that isn't what's happening. Like they get so salty about this when like whenever people like demonstrate that they're willing to like cut ties with brands over this, like they religiously defend Disney even now with their stock prices in the toilet and just like everything going like going south, right? They're having all these problems like maintaining all their brands and their parks and all this stuff. But like even now, you see like Angry Joe like shilling for them, like trying to say that like Asuka was like a great show or something. When like everyone knows, anyone who knows anything about Joe knows that he's doing the typical Angry Joe thing of just like hyping up the show for the first like 5 episodes or so, only like turn around on it once it's like safe for him to do it. Like it's unbelievable.
And then serving after you shoot up a whole bunch of Bud Light cans, serving that beer at your bar. I have no idea who I'm talking about. Pronouns! I paid for Skyrim 12 years ago, my guy. Well, I'm about to give you a reality check about Skyrim in a little bit, but let's keep going. We'll circle around to Dan Vask in a minute because there's something else interesting there. There's his incredible I'll Make a Man Out of You song. I don't really want to know what that means, but Dan wants to make a man out of me. But then there is another right-wing grifter, or right-wing grifter wannabe. She doesn't really have that huge of a following. Nina Infinity was playing Starfield during a live stream, and then this happened, and she was devastated by it.
She's got freaking pronouns in bio. Ugh. The SJWs are killing me. I'm so annoyed. It's space. We don't need freaking pronouns in bio for space.
Oh my God, pronouns. Pronouns. I don't know which order. If she was, I'm assuming it says 3:29 in the morning here. She posted as she was turning and tossing in bed. Very concerned about the pronouns in Starfield, and she had to have posted this at 3:30 in the morning. I'm up late at night, but I'm not worrying about stuff like this.
Yeah, because you're a fat fuck who just sits around all day making clickbait YouTube videos, making things up about corporations, and doing everything you can do to damage control for the radical left, right? Like, you have made no real like arguments for having pronouns in this game. All you say is that like, oh, look at these right-wing grifters being upset at a character selection screen. It is an indication of what the rest of the game is gonna be like. If you spend any amount of time with Starfield at all, which, I am not because of this reason, like, if you spend any amount of time with Starfield at all, you are going to find a woke mess full of glitches, full of broken quest lines, full of just, like, terrible game mechanics. Like, it's just not going to be a good experience. Like, you are better off going elsewhere and playing another game. Maybe one you already own, maybe a new one, maybe something else. But you will not be spending your time with something like this.
I almost refunded my game when Starfield asked me for pronouns. I still might. I'm annoyed by it.
Do it. Support you. I support you, Nina.
You do go to your character creation screen. And that's all that happens. You see she, her, him. It already, if you're picking a dude, it already picks him for you. You can change it if you want to. You can never touch them. And from the hours that I've played Starfield and was bored the entire time, I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. There was never anything else going on that involved your pronouns. That's it. She's gonna refund the game over it. But then she realized
it's a big deal. It's
too that she was starting to get flack for it because it's really dumb. Even people who are in the get woke go broke crowd I've seen on Twitter were like, yeah, it's not really that big a deal.
A lot of those people are grifters. You can't take them seriously, okay? Don't take what like these grifters say seriously.
It's not like they're trying to push any kind of agenda down your throat.
Yes, they are.
Move on from that screen, and that's it. So she wrote an update. I refunded Starfield, but there's other reasons, of course, that she did it. I had major issues with the frame rate, which you knew the frame rate was going to be 30 FPS when it came out, at least on consoles. I checked her video. She was playing it on PC. How are you having issues on frame rate when I was getting very playable frame rates on integrated graphics and you at a 3060? But whatever, it's an excuse. she knows she seems bad and it seems ridiculous just to return it for the pronouns. So she.
Introducing the one and only Rayman.
He's digging for something else. And again, I'm not defending the game. I kind of think it's boring.
Boring!
Oh, but I can't, dude. But hold on, though. We're not done. It gets better. This is nothing compared to what is about to happen next. Last but not least, we had Heels versus Babyface. He's a YouTuber who would probably clean Alex Jones's nuts with his tongue if he would allow him to. He was actually on a podcast with Alex Jones many moons ago, or not many moons ago, relatively recently, actually. Well, he got his hands on a copy of Starfield, and he saw that there were pronouns, again, that you don't have to touch, and that, as far as I've seen, are never mentioned again throughout the entire game. And here is what he had to say. It was very calm and balanced.
Bethesda, there is nothing I love more than to sit down, comfy chair, turn on my PC, fire up a brand new RPG, lose myself, think, oh my god, just think of this world, just think of all the planets I can visit, all the immersive things that I can get involved with, all the fights, all the relationships, all the people I meet, all the places I go. I'm so excited to go there. And you know, I love nothing more than, with all of that laid out in front of me, I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every conceivable opportunity so you can current dayers. Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Pronouns! Gender ambiguity! Current day California! Because that's all we know! Because we're boring! We're so boring! We can't see past our own reflection. That's the level of our narcissism here at Bethesda Western Game Company.
Like, my thing with this, I don't disagree with them, like, at all. But, like, what were you expecting from Bethesda? Like, really? Like, it's so weird seeing people, like, be surprised, like, constantly that, like, Western video game companies are woke, right? like, I was talking about this, that's like like, with, as early as, like, Red Dead Redemption. You know, it's why I've been going for Japanese stuff. It's why I've been slowly moving away from video games. It's why I've been so Nintendo-centric for the past decade, right? Because I hate this stuff so much that I no longer support it. But these guys, every single time, I'm sure, Bethesda, they're so based. They put out these big RPGs. They made Daggerfall. Like, man, they're so good. They're so much better than Zelda or Nintendo or these Japanese companies. It's such a joke. It really is. Like, that's the aspect I find laughable about this. Like, not the fact that he's angry about the pronouns, I agree with that, but, like, the fact that he expected anything different from Bethesda. Like, come on, this was to be expected, you know? Like, all you have to do is, like, not support the game.
Immersion, having a good time, falling into a world and just getting lost. No. Current day, you take everything we love, all our immersions, all our fantasies, all our escapism, and you just can't help shovel your...
I hate that term, like, escapism. Like, do you not have, like, a good, fulfilling life in your person? Like, that's my thing. When, like, I look at, like, the vast majority of these right-wing grifters, you really get this feeling that, like, the vast majority of them are not living, like, fulfilling personal lives. You know, Ricada is a really good example with, like, his hedonism and, like, getting cuffed and stuff like that, and the sexual degeneracy. But I think that's also true for a good number of them. You know, Gator, Flamenco, Ralph, this guy. Like, it just feels as if they're not being genuine in their opinions about this. Like, they're just, like, screaming because, it's gonna get me views, it's gonna get me attention. Like they're not interested in, like, actually making change and actually, like, you know, preventing Bethesda from doing this kind of thing, because all you have to do is just kind of, like, not support it, and then it'll just, like, collapse among itself, right? But, like, they're so heavily invested in, like, the escapism that they have to buy every new product as it comes out, and they'll never, like, distance themselves from a franchise they like or do something else. Like they'll just like keep crying about like things that have been going on for like decades at this point. It's just pathetic.
Oh.
Crap ideology into everything, every single solitary thing.
So we remember our heavy metal friend Dan Vask, glorious hair by the way. He said he was going back to Skyrim because it's not political, it's not woke at all, right? Skyrim, you can have same-sex marriage in the game. I'm not an interracial marriage. Oh no. Dan, where are you gonna go now where you could live in your safe little white bubble of straight people?
A better game, maybe. Not Skyrim. Like Skyrim at least doesn't have pronouns. Like it's objectively less woke than Starfield, right?
If I started a new game as a woman, would I be able to marry another woman? If not, is there a way possibly using the console to have same-sex marriage? And replied back, in Skyrim, you have the option of marrying an NPC regardless of race or gender. Are you gonna ask Bethesda for a refund when you bought the game 12 years ago, Dan? Just wondering, because you need to take that step.
Woke culture wasn't really as widely known back then, though. Like that's another thing, though. Like it wasn't as blatant about it back then. It's gotten worse, and it's why like so many people have become so radicalized to the right. It's because they've gotten so in your face about it. Like they used to be a lot more subtle about this in like the early 2000s and the 90s, but no, it's just gotten worse in the past decade or so.
Dance, right? Or are you gonna sip that can of Bud Light? To do so,
He thinks he's so clever. He thinks he's making such a poignant point, but in reality, he's just kind of dancing around the issue, and that like people are getting upset over this kind of thing because they know it's ridiculous, they know it's nonsense, they know they don't want it in their games, and yet companies keep pushing it in anyway.
so you must complete the quest, The Bonds of Matrimony, which involves speaking with Marimal about marriage and wearing an amulet of Mara, which signifies that you are available to be married. Once you have found an NPC who also wishes to be married and whose disposition towards you is high enough, you can gain their consent to marry you and then attend the wedding ceremony at the Temple of Mara. After the wedding, if you speak with your new spouse, you can determine where they will live. So Dan, what are you gonna do? Heels versus babyface. What are you gonna do? Look, man, I know I've had some moments recently that I'm sure that people are going to use as gotchas. But it sure as hell.
Your entire life is a gotcha, Rich. Your entire disposition, this entire like facial structure, your entire background. Like someone the chat just brought up your wife that divorced you. Like what happened to there, Rich? Why'd she leave? Like, is there a reason for it?
Hell is not over an option like that in a video game. I don't know if these people are putting on an act. I don't know if they are genuinely that angry about it. I know that they grift to a certain kind of audience. And here is the thing about me. It's not even that I'm on like I am a pronouns champion. I actually remember that dystopian video.
Yes, you are a shill, Rich. No, that isn't true at all. Fuck off of that nonsense, Rich. Like you are absolutely like a champion of like the radical left. I've seen you like stick up for like transgender individuals. I've seen you like bend over backwards, like defending people like Anthony Fauci. Like I've seen you like do all sorts of crazy shit. Like you are objectively a woke individual, Rich. I absolutely consider you one. Like no matter what you may say, they keep doing this thing where like people like this like keep pretending they're neutral, but they always like tend to lean towards the left. Like they always like side with the SJWs in the end. Like they like pretending that the right is just so ridiculous that I have to support the left in every single issue. But
stuff where they had everyone like including the janitor come out and like hi, these are my pronouns. Hi, these are my pronouns. Hi, I'm like, what is going on here? So it's not like I'm a pronoun warrior.
Pronouns!
But this is the biggest non-issue that people are making into an issue. It's absolutely ridiculous. I guess this is what they have to do. It's they sell outrage, they sell anger, and this is honestly the saddest thing I've ever seen people get angry about. It's pathetic, quite frankly. What bothers me about this even more is this get woke, go broke nonsense, which there are examples of actual get woke, go broke. Saints Row 2022, anybody? It does exist, but it is not on the level that these idiots want you to make it out.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, ignore Disney tanking into the ground. Ignore like Hollywood failing. Ignore all of that, right? Ignore like the declining popularity of like Western video games. Ignore like comic books. Ignore everything that's happening. Ignore Bud Light. Go woke, bro. Go woke, go broke isn't a real thing. Like, stop saying it's a real thing. It's not. Barbie made over $1 billion at the box office. No. Like, you don't understand. Is that the trend? The general consensus is that this stuff is ridiculous and that people are starting to push back against it. If people see something that's woke, something that's considered woke, they will refuse to support the brand. And we're seeing that more and more as the years go on. But it is going to get more and more ridiculous. And I think one of the things that's really going to kill it like long term is that like woke products aren't going to have like talented individuals like attached to them anymore. You know, we saw this with Indiana Jones, where like they had Harrison Ford, they had like, you know, people who worked on like the older movies. You know, Kathleen Kennedy was I know has been there forever, and they make this movie and it's just a complete failure, right? Like we're seeing this more and more often with like established brands. Like the trend is there. Like you have a handful of outliers, you know, Baldur's Gate 3, Barbie, but like for the most part, like it's becoming apparent that people don't want this and they are pushing back against it in any way they can. And this is an example of that. You know, even if like 10 people don't buy Starfield because of this, that's like 10 sales lost. And that's going to accumulate over time. Like if they make a Starfield 2, like those people are just going to be like, I didn't play Starfield 1. And then the people who did play Starfield 1 are just going to be like, well, I didn't like it because of the woke stuff. And it is going to accumulate. It is going to get worse. It is going to be a snowball effect. That is what we've been seeing since 2007, right? We have seen an increased pushback to this kind of thing because of how out of hand it's gotten, and because of how it's affected the quality of the products, and because it is an indication of a decline in quality in these products. And people like Rich like to deny that that is the case, right? They like to say it's purely a political thing. They like to say like people are just drifting, that nobody really gets upset over this stuff. No, we do, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? There is nothing wrong with pushing back against degeneracy and nonsensical behavior from these corporations.
It is not that there is this plague of wokeness taking over your life like they want you to think. They want you to be scared and they want you to be outraged because they profit off of it. That's what it really comes down to. Now, was Heels versus Babyface actually that angry? I don't know. If he wasn't and that was an act, he should win an Oscar. Most angry man who freaks out over pronouns, and the award goes to an ape.
Pronouns!
Not that I look much different, but come on, man. Just look, this, as much as I'm laughing at this is a serious issue, not because of the pronouns, but because this is what people are focusing on. The world on many levels is falling apart around us. This is what people are worried about when the planet is boiling around us and society is falling apart.
Yeah, shilling for global warming. Yeah, but I don't follow the radical left yet. Come on, Rich.
They're worried about pronouns. Maybe that's part of the reason why society is falling apart, because they're concerned about stupid crap. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.
Pronouns!
There's no such thing as a perfect family. We don't always get along.
Let's see.
You know what we're doing to
DK Oldie, Saints Row Dev Volition is closing its doors. Yeah, so that's Review Tech USA. I guess we could look at like Starfield videos. Like I didn't do research before going live on this. I just saw like the the pronouns backlash and thought I should do a live stream. The real problem with Starfield. I wonder if this is a shill video or not. I feel like we're just gonna like go through like these common YouTube shills and like conservative gamers are furious over Starfield pronouns. Starfield is pure trash. Let's see. Starfield drama. Ooh, so Angry Joe did it. All right. The quartering. I guess we could like watch a couple of these videos. And then we're gonna shift over to like Brigade of Law and like start talking about like what's going on over there because I have not talked enough about that. This game is a disaster. 100 hours of Starfield.
Game reviewer says playing Starfield is like being stuck in a fishbowl. Okay.
For everyone that thought that Todd's promise of 1,000 planets to freely explore sounded too good to be
You got a
true,
shotgun.
you were painfully right to be skeptical. When you land on a planet, you don't actually get to explore it freely. A few points of interest are put on the map, but if you
So like it's like this is what I was talking about. Like I made a comparison video like a while back. I mentioned how Xenoblade Chronicles X had like a big open planet to explore. I explained how it had like these fully featured environments with its unique biomes and its unique creatures in them and all these things you can do. You can like build infrastructure. You can do side quest. Like there's all these. Xenoblade Chronicles X was like packed with content, and I compared it to like Starfield with like its empty, desolate wasteland and it's like randomly procedurally generated like locations on the wasteland. And like so many people gave me shit for that. Like so many people tried to like say that like Xenoblade Chronicles X was the same thing, even though like they never actually played Xenoblade Chronicles X and had no idea what they're talking about. Like I wasn't even like a fan of Xenoblade Chronicles X, but like my point was that like Xenoblade Chronicles X did a way better job at the exploring an alien planet thing than like the vast majority of these like actually all of these Western video game companies, Starfield, No Man's Sky, like all of them, right? And like nobody wants to admit it, even today.
you run too far off course, sometimes only a kilometer away from a point of interest, you'll be treated to an invisible wall telling you to return to your ship. The game doesn't actually give you planets to explore, as was promised by Todd Howard and Pete Hines in the lead up to the game's launch. It generates a small
Oh wow, Todd Howard and Pete Hines. If only there was like a YouTuber who liked Nintendo games and wrote books who openly called out these two individuals for having a long history of making things up and pretending their games were a lot better than they actually were. Like I would subscribe to a channel like that who specifically called out Todd Howard and Pete Hines.
map each time you land that's built off of a seed from the given planet that you're landing on and where on that planet you've selected to land, whether it's a pre-assigned landing location with a point of interest on it or a random location that you choose. Simply put, it's an illusion of scale and freedom. Though to be fair, some people won't consider this a big deal, but like I said,
I'm
it
one of
grows
those
all the more
people.
frustrating when you go out and
Yeah, because you're a shill. You are a shill. Like, this is the biggest release of the year. I can't let this guy make this game look bad. No, come on. These are boring open environments with nothing in them.
great unknown, trying to explore like previous Bethesda games, only to be greeted with invisible walls reminding you that you're in a glorified fishbowl and not actually exploring a planet.
Isn't there there's got to be a wall somewhere in Skyrim, right? I don't know. I don't think that's a big deal. I'm not like, why the fuck? Like, look at what he's doing. Where are you going?
But if you run too far
Like,
off,
there's nothing here anywhere. I don't think the problem is.
It's like he's aware of what he's saying. Like, oh, there's nothing of interest past this location. Why would you want to explore it? Like, there's no content out there. Like, what?
Is that people should think it's a big deal because the world should be more meaningful, that you should want to explore the entire planet. But the problem is that the world that you zone into has like 5 points of interest, and that's it. You go into cave number 12, and there's 3 things of iron, 1 uranium, and then thank God, and then you go to another fucking point
It's
of
like
interest.
so
that's
boring.
Another
Like, just compare this to Zelda, where like you go into a cave, and it has like monsters in it. It has like, you know, all these things you can do. You can like dig through the ceiling and like end up in a completely different location. Like there are all these like cool things you have to do in like caves. You know, bomb things. Like exploring caves in Tears of the Kingdom is like a phenomenal experience, and like they just don't replicate that here.
laboratory with a deep cave. Wait, this is the same cave layout as before. There's a pathway and an open area, and the pathway after that, and then two different pathways and then another open area. It's the exact fucking thing. I went through that cave 3 goddamn times. It's like I felt like I was playing classic WoW again. What the fuck is this? So the problem really is not that you can't explore the entire planet. The problem is that you're a fucking idiot if you want to. That's the problem. Is because there's no reason.
You're an idiot if you wanted a full planet to explore in Starfield. You are stupid if you listened to Todd Howard and Pete Hines and expected these planets to be fully explorable with tons of content and quests on them. Right? You are a dumbass if you if you thought that. Now, I don't disagree with that, but this guy is like, it's so weird when you listen to like more mainstream YouTubers and like start seeing how they treat their audience, because they always disrespect them like this. They always talk down to them. You know, Angry Joe is always like, he makes people pay to like ask him questions like once a month. Like, isn't that like the shittiest thing imaginable, right? Like, imagine if like I asked you guys like, oh, I won't answer anything you say in the chat unless you throw me like $5 or whatever. Like, no, I wouldn't do that. But like, that's normal for like these bigger YouTubers. It's something they do regularly. Oh, hello, Retro. I was wondering where you were. I haven't seen you in forever. Let's see. Starlink did it better. Yeah, at the very least, Starlink lets you explore the entire planet, and it lets you like transition from like uh planet to a space like seamlessly, right? Like, I have a lot of problems with Starlink, but at the very least it like does those two things. So like, I honestly feel at this point that Starlink, a random like Ubisoft like game is better than Starfield by what I'm seeing. At the very least, Starfield has Star Fox in it. So we were promised no walls, so why are there no walls, Todd? Average Starfield hater versus average Starfield enjoyer. Remember back in the early 2010s when Monolith said they wanted to be the Japanese Bethesda? The student has surpassed the master. Yeah, that is true. I remember seeing that interview. Yeah, I think back then, yeah, Bethesda was something to be looked up to when it comes to their open world environments and stuff. But yeah, they have really fallen off. Like, they get worse with every release, and like YouTubers just don't want to admit it.
To go around and explore in Starfield. It's all the same shit. Like, I don't know. Oh, no, it gets better. There's some, no. There was some planets that was good. Oh, yeah, I went to like 15, 20 planets, and every single one was the exact fucking same. It had the same monsters. It had the same fucking areas. It had the same loot. It had the same combat. It had the same gameplay. And it was fucking boring. It was. Oh, the map in Starfield. I'm pretty sure what happened with the map is that they actually had the AI for the different soldiers and pirates in the game design the map. Because that's the only way it makes sense to me that it could be that fucking stupid. I can't even believe it. It's just bland. It's just bland. I don't know. I just think it sucks. I'm gonna try and play this game off stream. And I'm going to see if maybe I can get more immersed and more invested whenever I play it off stream.
Yeah. If you had to talk about like how you need to play the game off stream to enjoy it, it's probably not that good, right? Like, this is a big AAA mainstream release, and this guy is like bending over backwards, like, yeah, I'm sure I'll like the game eventually if I just play it some more off stream. Like, no, come on, ridiculous. But yeah, like he is being genuine here when he talks about how bored he is and stuff like that. Like, I think that's really common with a lot of these YouTube reviewers, where they have to play all these boring AAA games all the time. They don't enjoy them, they don't like them, they don't want to do it, but like it's their job. So they have to do it every single time, and they have to like just keep up the illusion that these games are like new, interesting, exciting, fun, like something to get excited for, right? But But like more and more, like we're starting to see the cracks show. We're starting to see more people like start to admit that Starfield not that good of a game. Like Resident Evil 4 remake, not that good of a game. Hogwarts Legacy, not that good of a game. Street Fighter 6, not that good of a game. Final Fantasy 16, not that good of a game. And 10 years ago, like all of that would have been unthinkable. Like all of those are like really high profile franchises that would have gotten a ton of hype and attention 10 years ago. But it's ooh. It's reached the point where it feels like YouTubers can't like convince themselves that these products are worth getting excited about anymore. All right? Like the reality is that like these guys are so out of touch that like they can't even fool themselves into thinking that they're like hot stuff. Monolith, like they're the people behind Monolith. Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, 3, X. Project X Zone there. They worked on Breath of the Wild and stuff like that. So they make the best open world in the industry right now. But we're in this phase where people don't want to admit it. Like people don't want to admit that the best open world studio in the world right now is a Nintendo exclusive. Like and they said back when Xenoblade Chronicles X first came out that like they wanted to make a game where like you explore multiple different planets. And it's possible we might see that with Xenoblade Chronicles X2 if they ever make it, right? That we might actually get like a more fleshed out like planetary experience from them. And stomp out whatever uh Starfield is doing.
Want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Pronouns!
The way his like face moves, the way his mouth gets when he's saying pronouns,
Gender ambiguity!
gender ambiguity.
Current day Californian! Because that's all we know! Because we're boring! We're so boring!
Let's start off with something that I've been meaning to talk about that I would have definitely talked about a lot yesterday, but I wasn't live, and that is pronouns. Okay, now trigger warning to everybody. Obviously, I will be using pronouns when I speak because it's language. It requires. Oh, I'm doing it again. Language requires.
What's with these like attempts at like them trying to gaslight you into thinking that like their take on pronouns is like they did the same thing with like sex and gender back in the day where they tried to say they meant different things when in reality they didn't, right? But now they're doing the same thing with pronouns. We're like, oh, like everyone has pronouns, but that's not what we mean. That's not what you mean when you say pronouns. Like you mean a completely different thing when no, like the implication of when you say pronouns is different than how like a normal person speaks of like how they use pronouns, right? Like it's not. Why is Bernie in the background? Well, it's a bad look essentially when you start talking about pronouns, right? Like normal people don't even like really know the term pronouns, right? They just say like use the correct male or female versions assigned to your birth gender, right?
There's the usage of pronouns. Trying to not use pronouns when speaking. Difficulty not using pronouns when speaking. Anyway, I'm going to give up on that. Okay, so pronouns are, of course, a fundamental part of the American language. It's a grammar thing. We use
American language? What the fuck? What? American? Don't you mean the Californian language? If we're gonna get like hyper specialized, like the Californian dialect, like
use it, okay? But of course, people, I guess in the UK, this guy specifically doesn't understand that. But it's not just the people in the UK. This is probably one of the greatest videos I've ever seen. It's so fucking funny from start to finish. We got to get into this. This is some fucking weird British Gamergate guy, and he is just losing his mind over selecting pronouns in Starfield. And I said it's the perfect demonstration as to why we must bring back lobotomies. That got a hit. That kind of banged on Twitter, 7.9 million views, and it got the dumbest people incredibly angry. Like, I don't know.
What is with like high profile streamers being like Bernie supporters? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like if you're like a millionaire like who's supporting Bernie, like to me that screams that like you want other people to fix like the world's problems. Like you're not doing anything yourself. You're just gonna let's just have socialism do it. Like Bernie Bernie will save like the planet or whatever if we just vote for him harder. 2024.
How
Is he even running, by the way? Like, I actually have no idea.
this went above and beyond. Like, it got the absolute stupidest motherfuckers on the planet, like, geared up. They put the fucking pitchforks out. They were like, how dare you? I agree with them. Okay, let's take a look.
Just want to say something to you, Bethesda. Just want to say a little something. There is nothing I love more. Taking my headphones off. Fuck that. Bethesda. There is.
Uh-oh. Boys, the headphones are off, yeah?
I'm so unintimidated by these, like, left-wing commentary channels, by the way. They're such, like, pseudo-intellectuals. Like, even when it comes to, like, video games, when, like, I see people, like, spurg out over, my takes and stuff like that. Like nothing they say ever lands. They never make any coherent point. They just kind of laugh at you for being like conservative or whatever, and like they never really explain themselves. Like this is a really good example of that, where he just says like, "Oh man, this is so funny. Oh, look at this guy being upset over pronouns, something that everyone uses." Like it's not. It's so it's so disingenuous, right? With how he tries like deflecting the issue and like making it about the individual and not like the issue at large, right? Like how they try like demonizing like conservatives and in general, and like this is a common like thing for them. How they always pretend like it's a meme for them, like we're on the right side of history. Like they legit don't really I don't know. They almost come off like they're out of touch with reality. Like they're out of touch with the idea that like people can have different perspectives on things and things like that. That if you're not part of the clique, you're like a terrible human being.
The fucking headphones are off, yeah? You know it's about to be pound time. It's about to lay it thick, like.
Hey, are you making fun of the British? That's pretty racist.
Nothing I love more than to sit down, comfy chair, turn on my PC, fire up a brand new RPG.
He loves firing it up, mate.
Starfield isn't an RPG. Let's be real.
Planets I can visit, all the immersive things that I can get involved with, all the fights, all the relationships.
Okay.
Real
first of
RPGs
all,
are turn-based.
My boy, as someone who has like put in what 10 hours now to Starfield, let me tell you, probably not the best game to try and do that with. Just saying, okay? But not for the reasons that he's upset at. But that's beyond the point. I'm just Starfield, not exactly the best game to try and like immerse yourself in like that, right? Fucking hell. All right. Like if you put his head upside down, it's the same shape. Oh, yes, that's a statue of himself behind him. It's a fucking figurine, mate. Sorry, also.
I don't know. Like when Spoonie was doing this, when Linkara was doing this, like they had real personality. You know, they had a real sense of humor. They had like a real like ability to like make what they're doing like entertaining and fun and engaging. Like what's with these people? Like, oh, if you turn his head around, it's the same shape. Like that's not funny. Like that's not an interesting observation. Like this guy just claps at a seal. Like it's like, oh, you said a thing about this individual. Oh, I'm just gonna arf arf arf. Like it's like, what? Like the seal clapping thing is just you see this happen all the time, right? Like they don't have any real convictions. They don't have any real ideas. Like you just know that like if these people like were born in a different time, they would be like radically different people. Like they aren't. They just go with whatever's popular in their community, right? And that's kind of what we're seeing here with these individuals. They have no personality. They have no soul. They are just abominable creatures who just attack like innocent conservative YouTubers on the internet.
If you're this invested in Gundams and mecha shit, you can't be this much of a goon, okay? You can't be this much of a right-wing idiot. You missed the plot point of like every Gundam.
Oh, I never actually watched the Synthetic Man video. I should probably do that. Like, should we do that tonight? I guess we could. Yeah, I have time tonight. Let's see, Synthetic Man. I never actually watched that shit. Synthetic Man Zelda is woke. Yeah, I'm curious about this because I would argue the exact opposite that Tears of the Kingdom is not a masterpiece. Okay.
When you're launching,
Talk about a clickbait title. Okay, we're definitely gonna watch that. But
Story. Okay, let's continue, mate.
All the people I meet, all the
That's not Gundams, they're Transformers. Oh, okay. I don't know enough about mecha shit, but most mecha stuff
you
is
can't
like
even tell the
very, like,
difference between Gundams and Transformers. Really? I mean, I probably wouldn't either, but like, I'm not a mecha guy. I talk to women.
this. Anyway,
places I go. I'm so excited to go there.
don't loop Gunpla heads in with these. Okay, I don't care. That's like nerd shit. I don't care. Okay, I'm a fucking nerd, and that is like entirely different. That is too much nerd shit. Okay, who cares? Let's go.
All the relationships, all the people I meet, all the places I go. I'm so excited to go there. And you know, I love nothing more than with all
Like, he's not refuting any of his points. He's just saying like stupid shit about like the stuff in the background. Like, look at those Gundams. Oh, I don't care that they're actually Transformers. Like, talk about the actual argument. Like, refute his actual points. Like, talk about the actual dispute. Like, you see the same thing in my commentary channel sometimes when like people make fun of like my house or whatever. Like, what does that have to do with what I'm saying? Like, really?
of that laid out in front of me, I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us. Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns!
The way his like face moves, the way his mouth gets when he's saying fucking pronouns. This guy is a ledge, okay? 10 out of 10 rant. Absolute fucking ledge, man. Fucking ledge.
This guy is not fun to watch. Like, you can't even laugh at it because like he's such a stereotypical like birdie bro. like you can't even laugh at him because it's just like this is just boring. Like, okay, let's move on to Angry Joe. Madden review announcements. Yeah, he's reviewing Madden but not Zelda. COD will use AI voice chat moderation. I'm curious what he has to say. Cyberpunk 2077 is only getting one expansion. Ooh, we should probably. Oh, this is Star Citizen. No, wait, no, wait. No, wait, hang on. Is this like?
Anyways, so Star Citizen talking about all this.
Hang on.
And then motherfucking Will Wheat and get out. So that's my convention story. Wouldn't get out of the poor Will Wheat.
Be very annoying. I mean,
I was thinking on the fig Star. It's the game. We got your man up playing Starfield all night. Credits the game by saving his family from an apartment fire. So I've done this a lot of times where you're up just at insane hours just playing, and I hear noises and shit happening outside, and you fight off robbers and stuff. It's I was up because.
What Starfield drama? Was I clickbaited? Ugh. Okay. Okay, I guess we'll watch the Cyberpunk thing because I'm interested in his take on
Cyberpunk
that.
2077 is only getting one expansion. And this, kind of, I mean, it was kind of news to me. I thought that this was going to
The game is 3 years old and the expansion still isn't out yet. Why do you care?
something that they built the game, they fixed the game, and now they're evaluating.
We gotta play that again. I'm like, are you serious?
To have sex with you. All right, it was gonna happen. Sweet. All right, Cyberpunk 2077 is only getting one expansion, And this, kind of, it was kind of news to me. I thought that this was going to be something that they built the game, they fixed the game, and now we know we were going to get Phantom Liberty, but maybe we're going to get more. According to them, only getting one because they are going to be retiring their engine. So the red engine technology is going to be retired. They're going to be switching to Unreal 5. And so that just means that they're not going to continue to support Cyberpunk with, Phantom Liberty 2 or new cities.
Yeah.
Which was what I was hoping, right? I wanted to see, you paid for the game. You want to see, we went through the troubles.
Why didn't you refund it? Like, the game was broken.
Of its launch. It's like, okay, now that you fixed it, give me a couple good DLCs to make me think positively about it.
Just one.
But I don't know. So maybe we'll just have to wait to Cyberpunk 2.
Joe's on his phone. He can't pay attention. Like, you're at work, Joe. Stay off your phone.
So, I don't know.
New engine and everything. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah, Unreal...
It's going to take some time, obviously.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up like they did before.
Switching to new engine, especially one like Unreal that has a really, really high ceiling, is probably good for them. They'll be able to focus more on...
Like, say you don't care. Like, this is Cyberpunk 2077. Like, who cares if it's only getting one expansion? You're not going to be playing it anyway. Nobody cares about Cyberpunk. Nobody cares about CD Projekt Red. They're done. They are never, ever coming back from this. And yet, even years after launch, people are still refusing to admit it. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. They're gonna take that.
Like, there is no fixing this.
Into other systems, and hopefully it'll work.
Police AI systems.
Yeah, that'll
Probably
be
not
good.
nowhere.
Yeah, toilets. they rise from the toilet.
Like, Tears of the Kingdom legit has probably already outsold Cyberpunk. How much has Cyberpunk sold? Let's see. It can't be more than 20 million units. Sales. 20 million copies. Yep. Yeah, it's multiply. Yeah, there's no way. There is no way Tears of the Kingdom doesn't quickly eclipse Cyberpunk.
They also had they're having a rough time. They're receiving 20% decrease in net profit for the first half of 2023.
There's nothing out.
There's nothing out. So, but the difference is they put out Witcher 3, and then the profits continue to rise forever because like Witcher 3 was so popular, they had all these DLCs. Cyberpunk, they saw a huge influx. Cyberpunk, even with all its problems, sold very, very well, and then had a resurgence after the anime.
They've had to spin their wheels fixing their problems with the base game. So isn't that interesting? Where the get it right the first time mentality actually helps you. You have more time to get your DLCs out faster, to make money.
How about not producing DLCs for broken games?
Money faster, and there's not dead zones where you're just spending money fixing your current release and not spending time and development on DLC to make more money.
Well, The Witcher.
BK Royal Crispy Wraps. Eat it with the meal or have it as a snack. Only $2.90.
The series helped again because more people started playing that and buying that.
They need to watch the flavor of the
It
TV
wasn't
show
as
out of their mouth.
broken at release, and so when you had the DLC coming out, they made money.
Yeah.
And they had to work on the DLC, and then when the DLC came out, then they did another DLC. There you go.
Which was amazing. We got a bit of an update from a story that we did a little.
What a joke. What a joke. What a joke.
Firefight breaks out, everyone on board is gonna join in just for fun. You understand? Don't have time for you. Get lost. Don't know what Petrov pays for all this junk. But at least this guy's not a bad ship. As long as you shut your eyes.
Oh.
I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time Fleet Admiral of the UC during the...
I knew I saw something. Bro, what's she looking at?
Yeah, the game just looks terrible. Like, why aren't more people like calling the game out for what it is? Like, just an ugly, broken mess. Like, oh, the modders will fix it. Like, no. Okay. I guess we can check 4chan and see what they're saying about Starfield. Let's see. How did one game break V so badly? Oh, Ocarina of Time is still like I spent some time streaming it last night. Amazing experience. Like it's shocking how well that game has aged. Like I just felt the urge to play it again, and let's see Starfield. I guess we'll just let's see browse. Okay, oh, wait, hang on. Did it die pre-release? Okay, we gotta see what's going on here. Uh, yeah, 4chan feels like it's a dead board because like all anybody does is just spout bullshit all the time and like make stuff up. It's crazy. Sometimes you get a good thread. Like we had a really good thread the other day talking about like how Zelda is like being super downplayed by the gaming establishment. Like how they're saying that like nobody is talking about Tears of the Kingdom and that makes it like not Game of the Year worthy, but everybody agreed that was like ridiculous. So like there are definitely yeah, what if that's true? If like the most refunded game ever, that'd be badass, but I doubt it. That seems like clickbait. All Monolith needs to do is make a game like X with a more approachable combat system. I agree. Like make X, but like make it an action game, right? Like if they could do that, like that would be huge in making the game more appealing to normies. Can we say now CD Projekt Red was always overrated? Yes, they were always trash. I hated them. Please be careful when screen sharing 4chan because you never know what will pop up. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. People sometimes. Well, it's a blue board, right? So it should be fine. How did one game break V so badly? They couldn't handle the water temple. They got filtered by better games, so they always have to come back to the last refuge of their childhood when things were easy enough for them. Let's see. I am now a Mario ambassador. I don't know what that is yet. I'm not retired, as it were, but I'm an ambassador. As we step toward into the future, we'll learn exactly what that is. Now, the narrative right now is that like Charles Martinet was actually fired, and that Nintendo was desperately trying to replace him, and like they're doing so in the worst, in the shittiest way imaginable. It's so weird seeing these people try and like promote a narrative about this. But yeah, it's a weird situation for sure. So try. Oh no. So we're gonna. I wonder if like fake fans are gonna try and like make a narrative about the whole like Charles Martinet thing. Like it seems like it's going in that direction. Like they're trying to do it. Like the seeds have been planted since the movie casting announcement. But like a lot of people seem to be like gearing up for like a to make a controversy out of this, and I have to wonder how far they're gonna get. I doubt it really matters that much because like again, like I'm a big Mario fan, right? And I was like, I was fine with Martinet getting replaced for the movie and for the games. Like, I really don't care at all. Like, I despise voice actors. Like, I was more upset with like Helena Taylor getting replaced, and she deserved to get replaced, right? So it's like, okay, like he's getting replaced, so what? All right. You need all that retro next-gen power to run Starfield. Not possible to run on my Switch. I doubt it. Yeah, I imagine Starfield could run on Switch, no problem. I've had to ban a lot of Harry Potter fans. Are you still bitter about not receiving that letter from Hogwarts? Yes, I am. I'm still bitter that ah, I am. I think about that every day. I'm so upset. Grow up and read a different book. Bro, I'm a novelist. I write my own books. If you have to do mental gymnastics to justify why you're giving money to a transphobe, you're probably transphobic. Probably. And considering Rowling herself has been throwing tantrums on Twitter over this indicates how much it's really getting to her. Don't be delusional. Buying this game, not buying this game, has become a political statement, whether you like it or not. Yeah, if you bought Hogwarts Legacy, you hate transgender people. The fact that so many of you recognize this and preface your pledges to purchase the game with a meaningless FJK Rowling speaks volumes. It's clear you're the sort of person the sort of people who know what the right thing to do is, but you actively choose the opposite to satisfy your own individual desires. You're terrible people, and it's why we're banning you. Whoa. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to our non-transphobic users. Praise marks. Holy shit. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay. Literally can't make this up. This game is literally dying the woke death pre-release. Todd went full on political. Wahaha. Fair warning, game pushes far left ideology. I've already funded, but for your information, this game embroils you in modern politics and takes a leftist extreme stance on the matter. Unsurprising coming from a large studio with an HR department and probably a DEI program. What is DEI? Am I ignorant? Like I have no idea what they're talking about. I wonder if like more people are I wonder how well this game is going to do because it seems like it has no positive publicity at all. Like if we're talking about pronouns and we're talking about like the political aspect and not the game itself, like I have to wonder if like the game itself is underwhelming a lot of people because there's like no real like defense force for the game. Like it's all just like political stuff. It's like the anti Hogwarts Legacy where like the left is defending it, but the right is coming after it. Okay, like nothing interesting going on. I uh I legit feel as if like there's nothing really of value on 4chan anymore. Like it's no longer an indication of what's going on in gaming culture because there's so many shills and there's so many parasites and like it's not as bad as Reddit. I mean, what cost possibly could be. Like Reddit is so terrible. Like I accidentally like found myself on like World News earlier today, and I was like scrolling through, and it's like crazy the kind of shit that like Redditors come up with. Like I was seeing people like defending like Shinzo Abe's like assassin. Like apparently like it's a Reddit thing to think he was assassinated because he was defending like some Japanese church that was like uh that was like corrupt and like doing all this like crazy thing, all this crazy stuff like behind the scenes. Which my understanding of the situation isn't true at all. Like it seems like the globalists are like trying to cover up that assassination. It seems kind of sus what they're putting out about that whole ordeal.
A new product with a tight deadline?
2 weeks?
Grammarly's tone suggestions can help.
You know, despite my reputation in the wider gaming sphere as a bit of a contrarian or a grifter or somebody who just hates every video game, I actually really enjoyed Breath of the Wild. It was definitely the best game that released in 2017, and although I did have quite a few issues with the game, ones that you've already heard before, like weapon durability and the open world feeling a little bit...
Is it the right video? Oh wait, hang on. I guess hang on. It's Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is woke. That's the right video, right? Uh, 7,000 likes?
You
Did
know,
he get ratioed for this one? You can upgrade your sages? Really? Like, how do you do that? I don't think I've ever done that.
despite my reputation, that, much like Breath of the Wild, ultimately it just comes down to creating the weapon with the highest damage, and then having, like, a couple tool weapons, just like the rock that you can see throughout the game or something like that. It's very a goat man, who are the Zonai people who and I don't want to talk about the story in detail because it's not really interesting. This might actually be the worst story in Zelda yet as well, though I'm sure people...
No, Tears of the Kingdom is a great story. Fuck off with that nonsense. Tears of the Kingdom is awesome.
Bring up one of the 2D games, or maybe like Spirit Tracks or something. I don't really care. I mean...
Spirit Tracks is phenomenal. No. Spirit Tracks is an amazing story. Like, no. Don't give me that crap. No.
Like the high budget 3D ones. This is probably the worst story.
I am more upset of him like accusing Spirit Tracks of having a bad story than going after Tears of the Kingdom, because that is just wrong.
It doesn't even feel like a sequel. 80% of the characters who have no idea who the hell Link is, despite the fact it's only been like 5 years. Yeah, okay, all of the major players from Breath of the Wild remember Link and know he saved the world, but there's no evidence of Calamity Ganon's damage. The Divine Beasts are gone. I don't even think they're referenced in dialogue. This is a bit of a spoiler, so feel free to skip if you, for some reason, care about the story of this game. Zelda goes back in time to when Hyrule was founded, essentially, or a little bit after that. Meets the first king and queen of Hyrule, which the king was a fucking goat man, and the queen was a, we'll say, dark elf. So despite the fact that the Gerudo are clearly supposed to be like the Middle Eastern-inspired race, I guess you could say, but they might even be a different species than Hylians, I'm not sure. They could be like Asari and just take genetic material from Hylians to make more Gerudo, right? But no, now there's actually a lot of Hylians.
What is he talking about? Asari from Mass Effect? Like, what? Like, what is he even talking about? What? What does that even mean?
That are various shades of brown throughout the world. And of course, one of the founders of Hyrule set the stage for the entire series, created a wonderful Wakanda-esque utopia, is one of these brown Hylians. Almost literally, we was Kangs and shit. So much for Skyward Sword being the beginning of the series. And to dip into the schizo paint a little bit, the king...
Skyward Sword was before Hyrule, though. That's been established. Like, huh?
Being a goat man, who are the Zonai people who came from the heavens, is borderline satanic imagery. I have no idea.
What? Like, is he serious? Satanic, really?
If this is intentional or not, but Japan used to be infamous for putting weird Christian symbolism in anime and occasionally video games. So this could be an extension of that, or again, if you want to take the schizo angle, this is a result of a certain cult organization full of quote-unquote elites that are subtly inserting their propaganda into video games. There's all sorts of little nuggets of wokeness, like Paya now having a giant brown boyfriend who looks like a Giga Chad in
that guy, they're not together.
Comparison to Link, despite the fact she was thirsting for his...
What? I'll never understand this. Like, there are so many YouTubers who are, like, threatened by this guy. I don't understand this at all. Like, no.
Dick in the last one. Not to mention the quote-unquote subtle homosexual imagery from Breath of the Wild has been expanded even further in this one, and I already know people are gonna say I'm reading into it and no kid's gonna see this shit, but that's exactly how you desensitize people and how you groom them, right? You expose them to things. The vow that each of the new sages takes to Link looks like they're proposing to him. And Sidon, the giant shark guy, people already made a bunch of gay lewd images between him and Link when Breath of the Wild came out. Well, now him quite literally
That guy gets married in his quest line. You fucker. Like
putting a ring on his finger, and man,
he put a ring like what? This is so This is such a reach.
and their relationship is too fucking weird, dude. I don't care that they literally give him a wife in the story. I'm not convinced. Link was already a cross-dresser before this game. Not to mention, an actual child, a bird child, is one of the other sages.
Hold out your hand.
Jesus, he's hand-mogged by everyone. He's hand-mogged by a child. Link was destined to be a bottom. It's over. And Riju's a Gerudo, and if you've seen any of their Rule 34, you know they're usually sporting a little something extra. Come.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Okay, there's a lot to unpack there.
You know they're usually
okay.
And Riju. Link was destined to be a bottom. It's over. And Riju's a Gerudo, and if you've seen any of their Rule 34, you know.
Okay, this guy has. Okay, he has to be joking. like if you, how much Rule 34 do you consume? Like whenever someone says that, you just know that they're looking this stuff up all the time. All the time.
Oh, they're usually sporting a little something extra. Come.
No.
That's why I'm going doing your pussy tonight, Link. Though obviously that's not canon, but you get the point, man. Every character.
You get the point. No, like, no.
That vows to him might as well be male, figuratively. Now, honestly, I don't actually believe that, but it is weird enough to be eyebrow raising. Certainly worth making fun of at the very least. And perhaps more importantly than this weird schizo tangent is the fact that time travel completely ruins the story of Breath of the Wild. Because if Zelda traveled back in time, however many years, she could have just told the Hylians never to build the Divine Beast because Ganon would corrupt them and end up killing everybody, and then Breath of the Wild would never happen. Again, it doesn't feel like a sequel at all because Breath of the Wild might as well be ignored for the sake of this game's story. Another reason why this story sucks is because it has the tendency to re-explain things you already know or easily figured out early on. Not even counting the spoiler about Zelda, there's various plot details that are shown to you over and over again. Every time that you defeat a boss in one of the temples, you're given the same exact flashback with Ganondorf. And even the various tiers that give you the memories across the map show very similar scenes. Even if they're different parts of the same scene, often you'll view the actual spoiler part before you view the setup, and then the setup scene is pointless, because the arrangement of scenes across the map seems almost completely random. There's a chance that you could view the biggest spoiler in the game as the very first tier. I believe it's just directly north of the starting point of the map. But despite this, the story treats every player as if they didn't do any optional content. I remember getting to the end of the Spirit Temple and having Minoru explain something that was already told me at least 3 fucking times, and then I believe Pora repeats it again immediately afterward. Just because it's a game for children doesn't mean children are stupid. Though who knows, maybe...
It's more because of the non-linearity of the story, where they have to, like, repeat certain things to you, depending on, like, the order you do things. Like, people don't really grasp just how out of order you can do these things, and it really does affect the storytelling. I'm not, like... I don't disagree with this, but it's one of those things where, like, does it really ruin the entire experience, or is it, like, just a part of, like, the general game design? And like, I think they had to compromise here with the way the open world is set up and stuff like that. Like, it's just what they had to do. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, what a ridiculous video. Holy crap. Please watch the Vouch reaction. Vouch calls him out. Okay. Is it just me, or do, like, Do I tend to side with like the left wing when it comes to like these like anti-Nintendo grifters? Like I just uploaded a video today about like Raging Golden Eagle, like calling him a spurg. And like I don't know. Okay, synthetic man. I don't know. Am I secretly a Bernie bro, guys? Like am I gonna flip? Okay, let's see what Vouch. I'm actually not familiar with Vouch. I believe he's like a socialist. I don't know anything about him. I don't even know what he looks like. The Vouch pit. That is the cringiest.
Oh, I did see this. Yeah. This guy.
Is this guy a socialist? I ask before I see his face, and it's like proven to me immediately. Like this is the stereotypical like soy boy, just physiognomy. Like what? It's just like they all look like this. They all do.
This guy was doing a criticism of Tears of the Kingdom, but he's like a Nazi addict, so it's really funny because his brain is an open book. Yeah, I saw this. I saw this. It's not new to me. Look at this. It's very funny, okay? Oh, this is what the title looks like, by the way. So, we have the meme image, and then we have hentai Zelda next to large Ganondorf because Nazis and addicts. It's like a Venn diagram with one circle, you know? Here, hold on. It's pretty funny. You can tell the guy's a porn addict from the way he talks.
And the queen was we'll say dark elf. So despite the fact that the Gerudo are clearly supposed
It's always cuck NTR shit. It's literally always cuck NTR shit. Like 100% with these people. You can't, it's like a prerequisite for being an internet Nazi. You can't do it unless you have a thing for like interracial cuck NTR shit.
Supposed to be like
I don't
the
know, like-
Middle Eastern and
Is that true? Because like when I look at like Ricada, like it almost seems like it is true. Like after seeing what happened with that, like seeing like the realization that like he is a cut, right? Like going through that process, like is it true? Like I feel like it might be.
inspired race, I guess you could say.
Again, I've been really critical of like the internet right wing for a long time. I hate these fucking people. So like I don't know. Like maybe I am a socialist.
They might even be a different species than Hylians.
I've been shitting more on like the right than the left lately. Like I don't know. Maybe.
I forgot about this part. He thinks it's ambiguous that the Hylians and the Gerudo women are a different species. Like he doesn't know. So he doesn't know shit. Yeah, they're twice the height of okay, yeah, no, they're a different species. Okay.
I'm not sure. They could be like a Sari and just take genetic material from Hylians to make more Gerudo, right? But no, now there's actually a lot of Hylians that are various shades of brown throughout the world. And of course, one of the founders of Hyrule set the stage for the entire series, created a wonderful Wakanda-esque utopia, is one of these brown Hylians. Almost literally, we was Kangs and shit. So much for—
This is how their minds are. This is all they have. They see the brown skin lady and they're like, "Oh my god, this is just like all those 4chan memes. Oh my god, this is just like all those drawings that I saw of black people with big lips and wide noses. It's just like it's all coming back." Like and that's all they can think about. You know? They tend to be obsessed with Wakanda for some reason. Well, again, it's like they see like a black and white person standing next to each other and like 1,000-yard stare, like they're remembering the Nam flashback. It's just all cuck porn running through their brain at light speed, you know? You know, we call Nazis stupid, but their brain, when operating on the highest processing power of which it's capable, which is when they're thinking about cuck interracial porn, can actually process stuff way faster than you or I can, okay? They'll see like any shit in media, and instantly they've got like 20, 40, 90s up here just processing 4K graphic cuck NTR hentai porn right through their head, you know? It's incredible stuff. It's like a special kind of autism.
For Skyward Sword being the beginning of the series, And to dip into the schizo paint a little bit, the king being a goat man, who are the Zonai people who came from the heavens, is borderline satanic imagery. I have no idea if this is intentional or not, but Japan used to be infamous for putting weird Christian symbolism in anime and occasionally video games.
He's like one of the Catholic Nazi type, you know, it's the same, yeah.
So this could be an extension of that, or again, if you want to take the schizo angle, this is a result of a certain cult organization full of quote-unquote elites that are subtly inserting their propaganda into video games.
It is extremely subtle. He when he recorded that, he was like, got him. They'll never understand. I'm 10 steps ahead of him. Like I said, that's why I said like his brain is wide open for us to read, you know? He's so subtle amount. This is like a big 4chan thing. It's like the normie insider brain rot syndrome, where they're so inundated in the special language of their like own personal psychosis that they think they're a wizard when they slip incredibly unsubtly like their insane beliefs into stuff. You know what I mean? I think there was actually even a worse clip of him that I saw, where he was like, oh yeah, here we go.
Flags like visiting a synagogue for no reason. And again, can't even get into it or I'll be demonetized, shadow banned, all that shit. But it is weird that we get a mini history lesson on Judaism in the middle of this zombie apocalypse story. And on top of that, a major story point is Ellie and Big Schnoz's lesbian relationship. And how an Asian guy...
He recorded that and he was like, got him. The normies will never see through my deceit. Got it, yeah, you know.
A true neutral? Yeah, I have thought of myself as that in the past.
The normies will never know. Can you imagine just thinking about race all the time? Like literally, like just that's it, you know? And by the way, I want to be clear, I'm consistent on this because even though I don't think they're full of hate or like psychotic bullshit in the same way, I do think there are lefties or libs who think about race too much, like that Robin DiAngelo tier, you know, like over obsessive reparation, like white guilt correction bullshit. But this is like 5 steps beyond, man. Literally, like everything. It's just all the cuck NTR interracial stuff with no breaks. That's the whole life that they get. We're almost done with this.
There's all sorts of little nuggets of wokeness, like Paya now having a giant brown boyfriend.
He wrote the script with one hand. It's all he can think about. No, like I said, at the end of the day, fascism is just about sexual insecurity.
Who looks like a Giga Chad in comparison to Link, despite the fact she was thirsting for his dick in the last one. Not to mention the quote-unquote subtle homosexual imagery from Breath of the Wild has been expanded even further in this one, and I already know people are going to say I'm reading into it.
Just maybe. I know. Hey, I know what people are going to say. They're going to say, hey, you're being a little obsessive. Like you're non-stop thinking about this. Just a little. He sees like a hand clasped in like respectful vow of a warrior to another. And it's like, all right, now some people say I never shut up about homosexuality and interracial.
And no kid's gonna see.
Look at how mad he looks in the top left too. He's watching and Link is a heterosexual. Fishman's a heterosexual. He's like fucking furious. Why even play games? I like seriously. Why do anything other than masturbate to interracial NTR porn? Like if that's where you're gonna be mentally anyway.
This shit, but that's exactly how you desensitize people and how you groom them, right? You expose them to things. The vow that each of the
I don't know. Oof. I was about to make a point about like how Drexel groomed that kid, but like yeah, that has nothing to do with this. So let's just
new sages takes to Link looks like they're proposing to him. And Sidon, the giant shark guy, people already made a bunch of gay lewd images between.
Guys, I'm not overthinking this, all right? I'm not talking about this too much. Just evidence to my point, I have searched over 100 gigabytes of Link X Sidon porn. And from this, my...
Yeah, I know it exists, but I've never seen any of it, right? The difference between like my experience with this and like this guy's experience is like palpable, right? Like you don't find Rule 34 these days unless you're like actively looking for it. Actually, no. Did I ever see Rule 34? Huh. Yeah, I've never looked at anything like Rule 34-ish. Yeah, you don't see that like stuff plastered all over the place like you used to. I think internet moderation has gotten better. So like I can't even remember the last time I saw like a degenerate image. Oh yeah. People used to post like Shadman comics on V. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Like that really weird one with like tails on like the bench. like um that would get posted a lot. Yeah, so I've seen like images from stuff, so I'm aware of the stereotypes, but like I've never actually like looked them up, right? Like this guy seems to have done.
My thorough analysis. I have documented all. Fine. Oh my god. Why do white supremacists always look like they're the result of 4 generations of inbreeding? It's like I mean, if you're like a mediocre person, you tend to turn to other stuff to give your life purpose, right? People do that all across the spectrum, right? That's not like just a Nazi thing, but like I do think like there is a reason why overwhelmingly it's like
I don't know, like yeah, I don't disagree with that. That is a problem like across the spectrum, right? I like this guy more than like Hasanabi, like that last guy we were watching. Like he's way more articulate and he really emphasizes his points better, and he does a way better job of like taking down this dipshit.
on that side of things. Porn addicts.
Am I a socialist now, boys? Am I pretty bro?
I genuinely think that like that's got to be the #1 inroad to being a modern day neo-Nazi is being a porn addict and being like really into interracial cuck shit, but like feeling ashamed and then trying to do the whole like Nazi fake trad cat thing to whip yourself out of it, you know? It's so funny.
Between him and Link when Breath of the Wild came out. Well,
I saw one other clip. wait, please. There was one other clip that I saw. Yes, please.
I'm not convinced. Link was already a cross-dresser before this.
Yes, his mind is an open book. Yes, please. All right, let's learn more about how normal this guy is.
Give him a wife and this
serious maidenless behavior. This guy's Zelda video was a red pill on how cartoonish the online right can be. The leftist is actually making really good points. He was able to decipher Synthetic Man's personality instantly. This is why I call myself a neutral. I don't know.
Story, I'm not convinced. Link was already a cross-dresser before this game. Not to mention, an actual child, a bird child, is one of the other sages.
Hold out your hand.
Jesus, he's hand-mogged by everyone.
This is this guy's life. Literally. He sees 2 cartoon characters shake hands and he's like, Jesus, the player insert character that I'm playing as is getting hand-mogged right now. Christ, he's getting hand-mogged. It's over, bro.
He's hand-mogged by a child. Link was destined to be a bottom, but so...
Guys, I think the homosexuality might be coming from inside the house.
Oh no.
Live your truth.
Over. And Riju's a Gerudo, and if you've seen any of their Rule 34, you know they're usually sporting a little something.
Whoa, groomer? She's 17 3/4, you pedo. Also, hold on, 1 second.
Seen any of their Rule 34, you know they're usually sporting a little something extra. Come. That's why I'm going doing your pussy to...
As further evidence to how normal I am and how everyone else is groomer and
I don't even know what the bussy is. Like that's how like out of touch I am. Like is that what they call it when like you like gay men like fuck another guy in the ass, like the ass thing. Like, is that what they mean? Like that's the impression I get, but I've never like looked it up because I'm not a fucking I'm not a degenerate. That's the impression I get. But like again, I'm just
Generate. I have seen thousands of images of Fuda Gerudo NTR cuck hentai porn.
Reddit ring has been forgotten. I agree. Yeah.
And what's more, when I see the word "come" in chat, the first thing I think of is the underaged Gerudo woman, my character in the app. Oh my god, bro, dude, he's just a porn addict, literally. Like that. But when I saw this, the thing that really made me laugh is like this is the kind of guy who thinks he's really smart and slick, and like his like they'll never catch my Nazi points, they'll never catch my anti-Semitism, you know, when in reality it's like he's screaming into a bullhorn, you know, that he's a porn addict. Yeah, it's just really funny.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, we both came to the same conclusion like right off the bat. This guy was like considerably less subtle about this than Makeda was, right? He was like so upfront about this like weird like his porn fixation. It's just unreal.
Denied, Link. Though obviously that's not canon, but you get the point, man. Every character.
Was he trying to do like a black voice for a Gerudo woman, or did I just can't put it past this guy?
Tonight, Link. Though that's why that's why I'm going doing your pussy tonight, Link.
He's retarded. For the Gerudo women? You're not even being racist in the right direction. He said in the video he acknowledged that they were Middle East. Does he think that's what it's like over in like
he watched so much Rule 34 that like the first thing he thinks of when he sees a Gerudo woman is like Fudanari, right? Like I guess Fausch must have missed that.
Historical Arabia or something? Go back and watch the Aladdin cartoon, the Disney cartoon, and everyone talks like that over the...
Though obviously that's not canon, but you get the point, man.
You get the man. Listen, I chose to look at a bunch of porn of Fuda Gerudo women, and that like says something about the art, man.
Every character that vows to him might as well be male, figuratively. Now, honestly, I don't actually believe that, but it is.
The Gerudo women are male because he saw a bunch of Fuda porn of them. This guy, like, all of his decisions are based on the porn that he's seen. It's crazy. Do you think when he like goes to a restaurant and he sits down to order, he looks at the menu items and he's just remembering all of the like background like image details in images and hentai videos of like, oh well, I remember seeing udon that one time in the one where the black guy came over and became my stepfather. Oh whoa, oh man, okay, this sushi roll, it looks exactly like that one image that I saw of the like food. No, like really, dude. Yeah, 100% chance he can't order a pizza without thinking the delivery guy's going to. Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Getting horny looking at the IHOP menu because like the maple syrup running down the flapjacks reminds him of like 73 specific images that he could draw from memory of like cum running down a girl's face, and the girl's supposed to be like his older sister who's also cheating on him. Or I don't what. This guy, I don't know. This guy probably the connoisseur of genres.
Weird enough to be eyebrow raising, certainly worth making fun of at the very least. And perhaps more importantly than this weird schizo tangent is the fact that time travel completely ruins the story of Breath of...
Oh wait, okay, the last bit of this is literally just him complaining that time travel creates plot holes, which of course it does. Yeah, I remember that. It doesn't even like, it doesn't have a thing. I don't even care to. It doesn't fit into my broader narrative that this guy's cum brained. Yeah.
All right, I think that's everything. Yeah, we watched like way too much of that. That was a good watch, honestly. Oops. Let me see here. Not gonna lie, that was a good watch. Okay, hang on. I accidentally closed the window because I'm an idiot. Oops. What? Hang on. Where the hell? Okay. Remember when people were saying Fire Emblem Engage had homosexual undertones because of the rings? I don't remember that. I really don't. Like, you might as well argue that like Lord of the Rings is homosexual. Yeah, people have done that as well, but yeah, like you don't need to associate rings with like marriage and shit like that. They can like mean other things, right? Like it's like it's just a fucking ring. Like what's the deal? I don't remember that at all. Honestly, like I saw a lot of people like when I saw people like complaining about Engage, it was like entirely because of the story and like the character designs. And I actually agree when it comes to like the design of the protagonist in particular, but like a lot of those a lot of like the expanded cast I really like. Like Panette might be one of my favorite Fire Emblem characters ever. Ivy is my wife. Like I loved Engage. Engage was great. Yeah, I don't remember that. Let's see. Is there anything about me? Like Nintendo fanboy Harmon Smith. Let's see. Raging Golden Eagle. I guess we'll.
Bro.
Yeah, nobody watched this because nobody fucking cares about Raging Golden Eagle. If you know who Raging Golden Eagle is, you're probably a fanboy. It's one of those things where like you can't really. I guess we can watch that video and like react to it live, so like we have an idea what we're talking about here. Let's see. The circus is on fire. Let's see. Yeah, legit real. Okay, I know exactly the timestamp where we need to look at. Hang on, let me go to the bathroom real quick, and then we'll watch some RGE. We'll watch some incel coping and seething. Where's my phone? How long has it been since I've been up? Like 3 hours? I spent the first hour or so trying to get the stream going. It was not working. It did not want to work for a good while. Let's see. Nothing interesting is happening. Whoa. All right, let's see what like the stereotypical weeb has to say about like Fire Emblem Engage. Let's see what this guy says. There's always stuff about you, a never-ending trove of harm and madness. I don't see a lot of it, honestly. Like I've been trying to keep up with like the general idea of what the narrative is, but like I have no idea what people are saying about me right now. Especially when it comes to like the books and stuff like that. Like I have no idea.
Yeah, it's true. As long as the mod ability is the same, it'll be around. I think so. It's made in the same engine.
This is like his wallpaper for his stream. like a fucking lolly. Like, like she's sitting on a tentacle. What? I didn't see that. Like, what? Wow, that is terrible.
Oh, it's that Fallout 4 hard-coded blocks against actors' crotches banging up against each other. Well, why do you think Skyrim still has a strong modding scene, yet Fallout 4 is effectively dead? Huh.
Skyrim's definitely better than Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is
Yeah,
like
I
so
wouldn't be
terrible.
surprised if Starfield did the same shit. But yeah, it really did. Like, I saw that and it's like, yeah, this is Fallout 5. Yeah, Starfield is Fallout 5. That's it. Dude, that's what happened with Pillars of Eternity 1, but not the 2. Oh, wait. So you're saying you saw the first one and you wanted to play it, then you saw the second one and went, not interested. Yeah, that's happened to me a few times as well. I think that's what happened with Xenoblade Chronicles as well, because the third game hasn't sold anywhere near as well as the second one did for some.
Okay, so the third game didn't do as well as the second one for a wide range of reasons. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out like launch window for Switch. It came out like December 2017, where there weren't like a ton of options to choose from, right? So it picked up a new audience, got a dedicated cult following, and 3 like had a drastic tonal shift that requires you to have played like the first game, right? Xenoblade Chronicles 1, the remake, definitive edition, didn't do all as well as 2 either. So like it's safe to say that like Xenoblade, like the implication here of what he's trying to do is that he's trying to imply that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 did worse because of censorship and not because of like other factors like that have nothing to do with the localization or like the changes made or like the way it was marketed or anything like that.
Reason. Yeah, a lot of the fans of the second game just saw the third game and like, nah, that's fine. Yeah, my mech's pronouns are burr boom. FromSoft should have added that just for laughs. They would have gotten so much extra fanfare if they shat on the pronoun brigade. I remember the money split for Modders Creation Club was made so the modder who made all the content got less than 30% of the money one would spend on the mod. So what you're saying is basically they're better off just selling their own shit on like Patreon or something, huh?
Hang on, he's gonna come back to Xenoblade in a minute.
The Last of Us 2 made me not even want to play the first one. That's what's been happening with with Star Wars. Like more and more people are just like, I don't even feel like rewatching the good old ones anymore. Like, whatever.
It's a big reason why Disney's not doing well because like that's affecting their entire brand, not just the new stuff.
God, but what's even funnier with like Xenosaga was good. I wish they'd finish that, but with Xenoblade Chronicles, like the drop off between 2 and 3, it is nothing compared to the drop off between was it Fire Emblem 3 Houses and Engage. That has been hilarious to watch.
3 Houses has sold like 4 million units over like a period of several years, right? Engage is selling reasonably well. Like it's over like 1.5 million, I think. It didn't bomb or anything. Like it just didn't do as well as like the bestseller in the entire franchise, 3 Houses, right? Like I don't understand this narrative that these weebs try to pull that like Engage was a failure just because it didn't do as well as like the extremely popular 3 Houses, right? Like we keep seeing this over and over again, but like I really need to come out and like speak out against this more because I think Engage is great. Like I have like I had a great time playing that game, and I really value it as an experience. And why care? Really, that like Three Houses sold like 3 million units more. Like, who cares? Really, like they're both really good at what they do. Engage does plenty of things better than Three Houses, right? Like they're both good games. Like, why exactly are we complaining about like a drop off or whatever? No one cares.
Yeah, so Nintendo decided they were gonna appeal to global audiences. And
Engage! Fire Emblem Engage! Appeal to global audiences. The most VTuber inspired, like, anime-use, like, bullshit you can possibly imagine for a global audience. Are you serious? Like, are you insane? Like, did you even play Engage? Like, no, I'll tell you, he admits this in the video. He didn't play Engage. He didn't play Three Houses. I don't even think he played Fates. Like, he doesn't say whether or not he played Awakening, but like, I think he didn't. Like, he said he like alludes that he dropped the franchise after Awakening because the quality is going down, but that is a load of crap. Like, let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves. People who dropped the franchise after Awakening were never fans to begin with, right? They didn't play Radiant Dawn. They didn't play Path of Radiance. They didn't play Sacred Stones. They didn't play Blazing Sword. They didn't play like the Japanese exclusive games. Like, they are posing as hardcore fans who are upset that the series is becoming popular, right? We see this all the time. And it's so evident, like, by the way he talks about this, that he has no idea what he's talking about. None at all. It's crazy. Like, this is like stereotypical, like, niche game or like comment section in like a live stream format. It's just insane.
And well, I guess those global audiences didn't turn out for him, did they? Although, in my opinion, anyway, I think Three Houses was always a fluke. Because Fire Emblem was never a big mainstream game, and Three Houses was able to.
A decade ago, people were saying the same thing about Awakening. Like, oh, it's just a fluke. The series is gonna be niche. It's consistently like becoming bigger and bigger, right? Like I feel like Engage is like the new Fire Emblem Echoes, where like people try to say the game bombed, when in reality it's like Kino. Like, it's just like, come on, bros. We're getting games like regularly. They're all doing well. And you're doing this thing where you're pretending that like Fire Emblem isn't mainstream, right? It's like the ARMS thing where like they don't want to admit that like strategy RPGs are a niche thing for a niche audience, but that Fire Emblem is dominating that niche. Like, it is the most mainstream strategy RPG in the world of this kind, and like none of these people want to admit it. They want to just keep like making excuses, like, oh, it doesn't sell as well as Pokemon, so it's irrelevant. That's not true. Like, come on.
To be the best seller of the whole franchise, just because Nintendo actually for once advertised it.
They didn't promote Fire Emblem Three Houses that much. Like, are you joking? Like, I think they said the same thing about Awakening. Is that like, oh, it only did well because they marketed it. Like, they keep making these excuses about this kind of thing. Like, oh, Nintendo actually marketed it this time, but no, that's not the case.
And then they thought, oh yeah, we better we better start gimping shit the fans actually want because we got this big wider audience now.
Like what? Name one thing that was stripped away from Fire Emblem that fans actually wanted. Like, this is a franchise that's been constantly reinventing itself with like every entry since like the 90s. All right, like, it's not that uncommon for Fire Emblem to be completely different with a new entry. Like, especially when you go from like console to console. Like, it's not that unusual.
And then quite a bit of the wider audience showed up for Three Houses because, again, it was advertised heavily. But none of them stuck around.
Three Houses is a really tedious game to get through. Like, I love it, but like it really does have pacing problems. You could easily spend like 50 hours on like a single playthrough. It's ridiculous.
I've known plenty of people, both online and in Meat Space, that bought Fire Emblem Three Houses that like they never played a Fire Emblem game before. It was a brand new thing for them. And they all pretty much quit after like 3 or 4 hours. It was not the game for them. So they got a bunch of sales from curious normies that came with all the heavy amount of advertisement they gave the game.
What a co!
But
What a co!
none of those normies stuck around. So then when Engage came out, like fully pandering to these fucking normies.
How exactly is Engage pandering to normies? With like, that is like the most weebish thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, the opening theme song sounds like it came from a 4Kids theme. Now, I love that kind of thing. I love that like era of like early 4Kids like anime dubbing. I'm very nostalgic for it. You know, I still love Yu-Gi-Oh and like Pokemon and stuff like that. Like, I thought it was great. You know, like but a lot of people thought it was cringe or whatever. Like, you know, the character models aren't like mainstream friendly. Like, what does he mean when he says like it's pandering to normies? Because if anything, it looks like the exact opposite. Like, it seems like the most weeb thing imaginable to me. Like,
none of those normies showed up to buy the game. And on top of that, a lot of the old fans that don't like the direction the franchise is going didn't show up either. Like, I dipped out after Fates. Like, Awakening is the last Fire Emblem game I got. I haven't felt the desire to go back into the franchise since. After Nintendo of America fucking destroyed it.
Oh no! Oh no! He's still seething about the curtain. Oh no, he's so angry. Oh no, how dare they cover up Tharia's ass? Like, holy crap, really? Ruined? Are you serious? That's one of the best games on 3DS. And like but it has a curtain. Like, fuck off. No one cares.
So I've been gone for a while, but there were some others that were still holding out hope. Yeah, not
Echoes was fantastic. Like, he talks about like appealing to the old fans, but then like Echoes comes out in like 2017, right? You know, it's a full remake of Fire Emblem 2. It's very faithful to the original. It has like this really great voice acting, some of the best I've ever heard. You know, great 90s inspired like anime aesthetic. You know, it's very, very old school Fire Emblem. He doesn't even mention it in this video, right? And I'm pretty sure it sold less than Engage. So like, this claim that these guys have that like, oh, old Fire Emblem was better, like, reality contradicts this, right? Because it's not like Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon like set the world on fire when it was re-released on NSO. It's not like Echoes did gangbusters. It's not like that redefined the direction of the franchise or anything. No, like Three Houses and Engage got made because this is what actually works. Like, this is the new Fire Emblem formula, the extremely popular Fire Emblem formula that everyone likes. And the only people speaking out against it are contrarians who just complain about everything Nintendo does anyway, right? Like, there is no denying that Fire Emblem is extremely popular and successful, but people like this are constantly like making up narratives about this franchise. You know, he'll continue making up excuses for like the success of the brand and of Nintendo and like things like this, but in reality, like, what it comes down to is that the games are good and people are continuing to support them. You know, after Engage, you know, after they like make a game that appeals more to like the Fire Emblem audience, like, we are going to see sales like go up again, right? Like, Engage made a lot of mistakes when it came to its general structure, its writing, its the way it utilized the older characters. Like, there were a lot of things to complain about when it came to Engage, right? But I think like they're not going to stick with the model going forward. Like, if they make a Three Houses 2, like a real like spiritual successor to Three Houses, or even like do something like remake Fire Emblem 4, I think that's really going to get people to come back on board and really get fired up about these games again.
Anymore.
But like, no matter what Nintendo does, this guy is going to complain, no matter what they do.
They're not around anymore. Are they gonna F up the Xenoblade Chronicles X remake? Dude, they already effed up Xenoblade Chronicles X. Don't you remember how they fucking butchered that game in the West? They flat out removed the boob slider in the character.
Oh no, not my precious boob slider. Oh no, it ruins the entire experience of exploring this strange alien world. Like I said, niche gamer. Straight up like niche gamer nonsense.
They censored some outfits. Dude, the OG Xenoblade Chronicles X was fucked up by Nintendo of America. That's why I skipped it.
Why you don't know what you're talking about?
I was hyped for that game too, because I loved Xenosaga. So then, like, oh wow, this is almost like the spiritual successor to Xenosaga, and it's censored, so I just skip. Who gives a fuck? Skip.
Couldn't he just play the Japanese version? like it's like if he's such a weeb, like if he's the sort of person who like spurgs out about like costume changes, just buy the Japanese version. Like import a Japanese Wii U and you're set. But like none of these people will do that. It's crazy. I think in the case of like Tokyo Mirage Sessions, they actually like produce like a fan made patch that you can install on your Wii U that would like remove the censorship. But like um I don't think that was like anything other than like a niche thing that like a handful of people did. But like, what is he talking about? Like censorship? Like again, like censorship to these people basically just remains like removing sexual content involving minors. That's basically what it amounts to.
Now, if they do a remake,
yeah, the 14-year-old girl, yeah.
Nintendo of Japan keeps Nintendo of America on a fucking leash and prevents them from censoring anything, and they force them to do a decent translation, maybe I'll consider getting the remake. But I skipped the original because they fucking censored it. Yeah, co-creator quit before Xenoblade 3. That would explain a lot.
Wait, what?
Xenoblade 3. That would explain a lot. It.
How long is he gonna bitch about Nintendo and Xenoblade and Fire Emblem? Like, it's crazy how much he fixates on this, like, on this stuff. It's insane.
Yeah, co-creator quit before Xenoblade 3. That would explain a lot. Yeah, I don't even bother. Like, I don't play any of that shit anymore. All these franchises I used to like I just, nah, I don't care. And see, they waited so long. Like, they've lost me forever. Like, they could announce tomorrow. Like, oh yeah, look.
I thought you were a real fan, RGE. I thought you were like the person that
original team
that would buy all the merchandise, buy every single game, but like no, you brag about how you're not going to support these companies anymore. It's weird.
Back and we're gonna give you the proper game the fans have always wanted. I just say like, yeah, sure, I'll believe it when I see it. Because I have zero faith in them at all. I do not trust them.
It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with like the quality of the games themselves. It's entirely based on this like alleged censorship, which does not exist. Like for all three Xenoblade games for certain. Fire Emblem has like some costume changes, but like that's mostly because of like the underage characters and things like that. It's not that big of a deal at all, but
yeah, I'm just done. I'm not gonna bother with any of this shit, like especially when there's like again like Hollow Cure, a fucking free game on Steam.
Wait, Hollow Cure. Wait, is that a fucking like Hollow Live game? Wait, hang on. I guess I'll look it up. Hollow Cure. Hollow Cure, save the fans. Free. Play as your favorite VTubers from Hollow Live Fight. Explore and clear your way through armies of fans and save them from their mind control in this unofficial free fan game. It's like a ripoff of like Vampire Survivors featuring VTubers. It's the what? This is the shit that like RGE is hyping up like in favor of Xenoblade. Like does he jack off to these like pixel sprites? Like, does he find this sexually appealing? Oh man, these VTubers are kicking my ass. Like, oh man, they're protecting their purity from these filthy, degenerate penis havers. Like, that seems like what it's like to me. Like by looking at this, like what a fucking like. Okay, I've talked a lot of shit about VTubers, but like I've never. This is the only person I'm aware of that I know is like a VTuber enthusiast, and I've seen like how that like bleeds into like his personal preferences and stuff like that. It is weird, bizarre even, to see how much he like justifies like the VTuber excuses like thing. Like I remember like he was on with like Nick and Rick Drexel on Ricada Law, and like he's asked about the VTuber thing and how like a lot of the people behind like the characters are like men, and he's just like, oh yeah, I know that that's possible, but I don't care because that's the fantasy. Like anime girls aren't real, but if I can just pretend that they're real, like I can just have a good time with these VTubers, and it just really just goes to show you like the weird social the parasocialism of like VTubers and their relationships with their fans, where like they legit just get so enamored with these like um with these creatures, with these cartoon underage girls, right? That like they revolve their entire lives around it. Honestly, it's like it's depressing. Like I feel like the issue with Xenoblade Nintendo, like it has nothing to do with like the fact that of censorship. It's the fact that like they don't sexualize their characters, and then they're not like they don't fetishize, they don't appeal to like his Coomer tastes. Like that's what we're actually seeing here. Like he doesn't care about the games. All he cares about is enabling his like anime girl fantasy. It's crazy like seeing this like in real time. I'd love to see this guy's physiognomy. Yeah, there's a reason these people never show their faces. This is a good takedown of this clown. As good as Vash's takedown of Pathetic Man. Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me. He is stuck in 2010 Nintendo bad mode. Yeah, for sure. A lot of people like that. A lot of people are still stuck in that mindset. It is a dying mindset for a very good reason, but like it's weird to still see like people rant about this.
Probably going to keep me occupied for tens, if not hundreds of hours. Like, what? Why am I going to spend $60 to $70 on butchered, censored, global audience garbage when I could just get something way better for free? I'm done. Better yet, I could go to DL site and get all sorts of great hentai games like that. Like I've said, man, I've bought way more games on DL site this year than I have on Steam. I don't care. I'm fine going back to my back catalog. I don't need to play any of these.
Whew, crazy.
Yeah, I don't trust any first or second party Nintendo game. You know, I'll give Nintendo credit. Like, they at least let third parties put up whatever they want. Like, they don't censor third party games anymore.
They never really did, but okay.
I don't trust them whatsoever with their first or second party titles. And by that, I mean titles that are developed and or published by them. Because they censor the fuck out of those. Like, hell no, I'm not touching that shit.
Yeah, we're going into the Ricada sphere now.
Worst comes to worse, I'll just go back for old content. I know I've been doing that more often for pretty much everything. Even anime and manga nowadays.
I wonder if he goes back to the Nintendo thing. Let's see if he brings it up later. I haven't seen anything. Let's see. Oops. see.
That's what's nice there. Scarton, so 14 months. Remember, Nintendo of America wanted Xenoblade to fail so bad it became a huge success despite it. Oh, the original one? They never released it in America, and we got the British version as a GameStop exclusive release, very limited. Yeah, I remember that. See, I didn't bother it. I didn't bother getting it because I already imported the fucking Airstrip One version and modded my Switch to play it. So
Modded my Switch. Wait, what the fuck is he talking about? The guy was talking about. Wait, huh? Like he was talking about the original Wii version. Okay, so he just so so he's just pirating these fucking Switch. So he pirated like the definitive edition of Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Like he's a poser. He talks all this shit about like, I'm not giving them money. I'm not playing these games, and then he just casually admits like, oh, I just pirated that on my modded Switch. Like, what a fucking poser. What a joke. Okay, that's it. We're done. Like that's all we have to say about this Joker. Unbelievable. Okay, let's see. Is Raquel Law live now? Shit. We're probably better off like just watching a list of clips, honestly, because I keep like there's so much content. It's impossible to keep track of like everything that's going on right now. Let's see. The Dark Truth. Trump indicted. This is the video I ripped that clip of like him talking about Berserk and him being a poser. Like, oh, I hope Mira finishes Berserk soon. Like he's been dead for 2 years, bro. Like I talked about that a little bit. At least he's anti-Steam, but it's for the wrong reasons. I don't know. He's anti everything. That's the thing. He said he's such a coomer that he thinks that like everything should be free and that like everything should be like hentai. Like that's his mindset. Like everything should be free hentai. Like everything should be Rule 34. Like otherwise it's like censored. Um, I really wanted to do a coverage of this video in particular because he kind of damage controls like a lot of things. I guess we can watch this and then maybe we'll do like illicit clips afterward. Is this video only a week old? How old is this? When did he upload this? It feels like forever ago. Where's the date? Where's the date? Come have a knit with me as I expose the dark truth of anime Matsuri. Like, okay, so my understanding of this is that is there a crack in my camera? No. My understanding of this is that like Nick Rekieta lost a lot of the prestige and respect he used to hold at Anime Matsuri, and they like relocated him into like the corner or something. So he still showed up with a bunch of YouTubers, but like nobody went to his table because like nobody cares about him anymore because like everybody knows he's a grifter, like alcoholic, like Coomer, right? He lost all of his credibility in the past year. So like he showed up, he was invited, but like he wasn't like a popular guest or anything. And you know he's apparently spent some time seething about it, and I've been struggling to find the time to stream and to talk about this, but the way it looks now is that like yeah, it's Labor Day. I'm not doing anything tonight. At least I'm not supposed to be doing anything tonight. I hope they're not expecting me to show up, but like we're gonna cover this. We're gonna talk about like Nick Rekieta. We're gonna talk about like everything that's been going on and try to get some Rekieta coverage done tonight. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm a Rekieta fan. All right. All right, let's look at the chat real quick. You know it's over for the faux lawyer when freaking Null is distancing himself from him. Yeah, I know. It's pretty bad. It's getting pretty bad. And it's because of videos like this. What? The Walking Dead is still getting new episodes? What the fuck? What the fuck is this? Does anybody click on these ads? Like, just let me skip it. Like, okay. Yeah, I have ad block enabled on my standard web browser, but lost explaining. Law explaining the interwebs. Like, he doesn't cover law. He doesn't talk about it at all. So, like, what exactly are we expected to see here?
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law Explaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Ricada of Ricada Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And
is Ricada Law even like a real like law firm anymore? He keeps introducing himself as like the owner of it, but like they don't take any cases.
As a warning, I'm in a swamp in Florida, and it looks like the video is chopped back in Florida. It's a punishment whiskey stream.
What is he saying?
Man, so you can ask me all you want about that guy. He's been banned like 5 times by locals. So I don't know. I don't care. I think does gay fed posting, but that's on him, whatever. So here's the punishment whiskey. Iron Smoke straight bourbon whiskey. I picked this up in Florida. It's really fucking bad. It is really, really bad. So I'll be drinking a little bit of this tonight as punishment for not streaming. I give this
so he drinks to punish himself. Like that is straight up like alcohol logic right there. Like, oh man, I gotta get through this bad case of beer. I gotta drink this whiskey I don't like. This is the most rancid, disgusting thing I could find on the shelf, but I still gotta drink it. I'm doing it for you, chat. Like I gotta do it for those local subscriptions. Like
a recommendation. This is a recommendation whiskey, right? People always ask me for recommendations. Oh, should I buy? Like, what kind of whiskey should I buy for this special occasion? So here's a special occasion you should buy whiskey for. If you're going to divorce someone, buy them this. Right?
Oh, no. He's talking about divorce. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but, like, lately there's always been, like, one bottle that's, like, pure shit. It does not taste right at all. Yeah, we're going to go back to water. Okay.
If you're like going to visit a pedophile in prison, bring him some of this. That'd be perfect. If you I don't know, if you murder someone and light their body on fire with liquor, use this. Try that. Those would be the great occasions for this. If you're poisoning someone to death, give them this with the poison. That'll help. Any of those things. Anything where you truly hate someone, want them to experience utter misery before dying, Iron Smoke bourbon is exactly what you need. So, God, this is so fucking gross. But it's the only bottle of whiskey I have. I had to buy a bottle.
I gotta drink it. I gotta drink something tonight. What do you expect me to do? Drink water? Like,
park in the liquor store parking lot so I could go next.
Just compare what I did just now with my like shit bottle of green tea when I realized it wasn't like it wasn't right and like it didn't taste right. I just set it aside I'm gonna throw it out later. And I just grabbed the glass of water. It's like the easiest fucking thing to do in the world. Like, come on, Nick.
It's a door to the Cuban sandwich shop and get my favorite soup. But I didn't have any parking spots at the Cuban sandwich
He's going through his BoJack Horseman arc now. Like, you're seeing it.
shop, so I had to get it. And it turns out to be not good. Not good at all. But yes, if anybody's wondering
that fucking nose
about the rest of the week and streams, how much does this bottle set me back? Like $30. Not good. Not an expensive bottle. And it shouldn't be, because it should be thrown into the fires. The rest of the week, streaming schedule is still kind of erratic. Since I have this location, even though I'm going to get eaten alive by mosquitoes, we'll probably do another stream here tomorrow night. And the next night is really iffy because I have a long, long drive back to Texas because I'm an idiot and have everything planned.
Hang on, I completely forgot. Like, we're doing Rakina coverage, so we need to, let's see, Harmon Smith. What the fuck was it? Hang on. Oh, look at this. This guy is streaming. Let's see. Where is it? I don't know. Where the fuck is it? Oh, the Nobody's Hero. That's right. I was like, what was the song's name? There we go. What's happening to me? I'm getting all the blame for things I did. Everybody tell me just what I did wrong. I'm all alone and I'm so confused. I know that everyone wants me to be. I only know just how to be. Once I was the I was think I'm a coward, an absolute zero. I'm nobody's hero. I love that song. Like, I love how that song just perfectly represents everything Nick is now. It's great. Even Alyssa approves. That's hilarious to me. Okay.
Like in a row. Actually, it's just the timing of all these events and when we had time to do them means that we're driving from Florida back to Texas.
He is foreshadowing his divorce. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Streaming
I felt
on
the same way.
Thursday.
Like Lady Rackus has apparently lost gone down 2 sizes. So like she's losing a bunch of weight, and apparently according to Kiwi Farms, I haven't actually seen this myself, but like Drexel has claimed that a married woman only loses weight when she's about to cheat on her spouse. So we might actually be seeing like some major happenings lately. It does seem that way. Like the Kiwi Farms is thread is flying right now. We're definitely gonna look at it tonight, but
Thursday night is really iffy. Streaming on Friday night seems fine. But we'll get that. We'll get there. And I'm going to be waving my hands around all limp-wristedly all night long, it appears. So,
where's your wife, Nick?
So
what's she doing?
Let's do that.
Who's she
We've
with?
got a couple super chats I want to grab, and then we'll get right into the show. So I don't spend too much time just dilly-dallying around. Dildo? Aldo? Yeah. Scott Rouch says, misery before I expire sounds like my kind of drink. Pass me a glass. Okay, buddy. All yours. All yours. Okay. So, we're going to start with this. The dark truth of Anime Matsuri. As you guys know, Anime Matsuri, or don't know, started on Thursday with the opening of Artist Alley, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was the main convention exhibit hall. I was there along with several YouTubers on Friday and Saturday. I had to depart early Sunday to kind of how my family vacation schedule worked out. So, unfortunately, I had to leave before I could share my feedback with the owner, and I'll be talking to them as soon as possible. But you guys will hear it here first. This is the dark truth of Anime Matsuri. I don't know how to say this. Anime Matsuri routinely and consistently invites guests that should not be allowed on the planet. Actually, they should be probably executed if we
people like you mean?
Really get down to it. And the reason they do this is a complex and complicated sort of logic, and that is that they all happen to be people that fans want to see. And it's amazing how it works because when they invite these people, these awful, misogynistic, racist, alt-right pipeline of incels, really, when you think about it, when they invite these people, people show up in droves. They just keep showing up to see these people. And so, you have horrible people there, like Gary, Nerdrotic. I mean, this guy's a felon. He calls women fat or ugly sometimes. He makes fun of Marvel and hurts their feelings. He says that comic books are shitty with a horrific liberal agenda that seems obvious to anyone looking. I don't know why he even has to say it. And people just want to show up and like shake this guy's hand because it's just full of evil Nazis. Apparently, you have guys like Critical Drinker, and oh my god, can you think of someone more horrible than a Scotsman? I can't. Never mind the fact that he's taller than me, that piece of garbage. But he had a massive line of people buying a book. He wrote a book. I heard that writing and reading is actually for the alt right, and so I cannot endorse that in any way. In fact, I disendorse Critical Drinker, and it has nothing to do with him being taller.
What is his point? Like he's just rambling about like nonsense. He's just being sarcastic. I guess we'll skip ahead.
He goes, pushing specifically through any double wide door.
Typically what I do is that like I find his videos on YouTube and like go through the transcript and like CTRLF F it, and you can like go through like everything he talks about to like get to what you actually want to hear. But like he has this tendency to ramble about shit that nobody cares about. Like just get to the point.
There's a very good chance that I show up, they find out I'm there, and they make me leave. Which ruins
This is why I need Alyssa clips.
And I just don't have the time to have that shit happen to me.
He has no time. He's suffering from James Rolfe syndrome. He has no time to do actual work. He has no time to do prep work for streams. He has no time to do anything. Like he just has to.
So it's all to set up a thing to make sure you get to go to a place. That's great. But the real purpose of the YouTube corner is to bring new people into the anime convention space, into anime potentially as a fan, or really there's just a lot of cool stuff to buy there. I mean, if you're
he's not funny. He's like one of the least funny motherfuckers on the planet.
YouTube Rumble has an issue. 1 sec. When there's an already established thing that people can come see me and do a bunch of other stuff that's super cool in the industry.
I think we're gonna have to watch like I think we're gonna have to watch Alyssa clips because it's just too boring. Like there's like interesting things he says in there, like some of the implications, but like you have to dig through so much of it, and it's just like it's the problem everyone has with the live stream format. Like imagine going through all of Kino Casino and having to like pull out all the cringe moments and all like the stupid shit. Like the notorious moments like become famous, but like a lot of it is just like forgotten about, and it's not because people don't care. It's because that like there's just so much content you can't sift through it all. Like even I've fallen so off like the Ricada train. Like a big reason why I wanted to cover him tonight is because like to try to get back on board with it, but Okay. Okay, I think we'll watch these 4 videos. Let's see.
There's a concept.
Okay, 40 minutes? Like, are you serious? Alyssa, please.
On the internet called Being Mad at the Internet. And a person who is very, very keen on using the term, even the title of his show, is Joshua Moon, the owner of Kiwi Farms. Now, people are going to hear this and say, Nick is mad at Josh. Nick hates Josh. I do not. I'm not mad at Josh. I don't hate Josh in any way. I think Josh is an important person. I've said this forever. I think he's a critical juncture of free speech and the limits of that free speech and protecting it. And he's worked tirelessly and often he has worked with no regard for his own self, his own image, and he has not been rewarded for his stalwart defense of free speech online. He runs a forum that is called a hate forum, that is accused of driving people to suicide, which I do not believe, that is accused of routinely online violent threats, that is accused of being evil and doxing, which, of course, doxing occurs on Kiwi Farms. I will maintain that I think, as much as I don't like doxing,
Let's see.
I was really sad to see Josh, like, do that. Like, misunderstand. I don't care that he talked about it. I'm sad to see Josh misunderstand it so much. But man, like,
it's like you can't watch this guy. Like, he's so much less sharp than he used to be. He's not as eloquent. He's not as good at like putting out the farce of knowing what he's talking about. Like, he's definitely like degrading like mentally. Like, I'm not. It's probably the alcohol, the drugs. I've seen people like speculate it's some kind of serious illness, but I think it's just alcoholism. Like, it's just like he's just losing touch with reality.
I don't know. What do you do? You can ignore it, or you can talk about it. Not talk about shit. Drexel was a fucking example, right? And say, I know this guy, and I know what you're saying is not true. Like, I know for a fact that this is.
Drexel went on your show and bragged about grooming that 13-year-old girl. You know it was true. You knew it was true. You were involved while it was happening, right? Like, you laughed about it on stream. Like, we're not bullshitting when we tell you this happened because we have evidence of it. You know, like, you've done it several times over. We know. Like, you're just damage controlling from for your bull, and nobody's buying your shit anymore.
Is not correct. And that's the reason I use Drex as an example. I don't know on other people. Like, I know on me, I know on Drex. But if I say it on me, it's self-serving. You're trying to cover up whatever. It's like, oh, okay. So I try to talk to Null about it. And just say, hey, like, dude, this isn't real. Like, this isn't a thing that's happening. Drex is saying this to warn people about the fucking wild degeneracy that's out there.
Oh yeah, warn people. Oh man, don't go out there and have all the crazy sex with all these different women that I'm having. Oh, I'm warning you away from the lifestyle. Oh, don't come near me, 18-year-old girl. like you don't want to be involved with someone like me. Like, oh, but I'm gonna have to protect you from the sex traffickers.
No, he's whatever. Okay, like I yes, no, fine. But I do think it's funny. I was messaging Null about misinterpreting.
Ricada is mad he lost his troll shield. Yeah, let's be real. Like, Null was absolutely like his ultimate troll shield against like the Kiwi Farms. Like, as long as Null was like on his side, like a significant portion of like Kiwi Farms would not like consider him a locale, right? But like the instant like Null started openly talking about this, like there was a very big like sudden just kind of sharp decline, and I think that's the big reason why things feel like they're kicking off again. Because Null was just like doing everything in his power to nose guard for the longest time, and now that like he's no longer doing that, like Ricada is just like falling apart.
Interpreting things, and he misinterprets it, and then goes to his show to talk about how he misinterpreted it. Josh, this is what I'm talking about.
Misinterpreted
this is the
what?
exact same thing that I'm trying to warn you against. And then you did it. Someone asked me earlier, why does Josh hate Drex? Will you talk about it on the local stream? Sure. Why does Josh hate Drex? Okay. Two things. And I want to be very clear on this. The first one is my synopsis. And I think by observation it's true. Josh, as a rule, not in total, but as a rule, doesn't like black people.
Oh, he's just accusing Josh.
care.
Oh, let's accuse Noel of being a racist. Like, it has nothing to do with, like, Drexel's behavior, his attitudes towards women, how he groomed a 13-year-old girl. Like, it has nothing to do with any of that. Noel hates him because he's black. Like, Noel hates him because his ancestors were kings in ancient Egypt or something. Like, Noel hates him because he's a bigot. He's a racist. Like, Noel cannot be taken seriously because he is judging Drexel purely based on misinformation and his race. Like, that's what Ricada is trying to do. He is trying to deflect. He is trying to make excuses for why Noel is speaking out against Drexel and trying to make it about race. When, don't fall for this shit. Like, don't.
Josh doesn't like black people, but he seems to not like black people. He seems to have some ideas about the culture, whatever. And the ideas have some foundation, to be fair.
Oh no, is Ricada admitting he's a racist?
I think that part of it allows something called confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is where you accept certain facts that confirm your presuppositions, and you reject facts that don't. I think Josh doesn't like certain things about black people or black culture, and he uses that to take information about Drexel and to interpret it in a way that confirms his bias. Okay? Lots of people do that. Not a big deal. The other thing is because I think this is a criticism that I had of Josh. I think he has trouble discerning between a story about a historical, a past event, a funny thing, hyperbolic thing, and reality. This is what I was talking about. Josh thinks that Drexel right now is walking around fucking married women all day.
That's what he says he does on the streams.
Because Drexel has told stories of the time when he was a bull in the swinger community having sex with married women.
Isn't he still like the head of the swingers club? He talked about this a while back. If he stopped doing it, like, it was within like the past 3 years. Okay, like, if he's not like the head of the swingers club anymore, it's because he aged out of it and like he doesn't have the time for it anymore. It's not because he doesn't want to do it. It's not because that like of like some world change or like no, like he was doing this until like he wasn't able to like keep up with the lifestyle anymore.
Tells these stories are very funny, and then people take them for whatever reason. Go, this is happening now, and it's like, well, no. Noel hates Drax because he thinks he groomed a 13-year-old girl. Yeah, I tried to help him with that too. That's not a true account of what went on. Noel has several bad
Okay,
about that.
what is the true story, Nick? Give us like the real lowdown on how Drex went on family vacations with this woman and her child, and then ended up sleeping with the daughter, like when she was in her 20s. Like, explain that, okay? Like, what more is there to say?
And I'm like, this is another thing, Noel. You have a specific assumption that you think happened. You have no basis for it, but it confirms what you think. I don't know, man. Like, I'm trying to tell you. But, you know, you can't fix that shit. But importantly, I'm not trying to change Noel's opinion of Drex. I don't give a shit. I'm just saying, hey, I know this to be not true. This thing that you think is not true. And I know that. So other things might be untrue. And, I don't know, you took that as complaining. Maybe you just address something. Someone's like, oh, you're complaining about this. Well, not really. I'm just telling you. I don't want you to do anything about it. I just want you to know. Whatever. It is what it is, man. Josh sees the most degenerate people on the internet in the planet. Like, that's what Kiwi Farms follows. It's people who do wild, horrifying, or disgusting things. I think they get in the idea that these things are everywhere, right? When you look for ghosts, you find them. I think that's what they do. And so once they determine that ghosts are in the house, every creak or sound in the house is a ghost. And the justification that they have is, well, we don't think every house has ghosts, just these houses. So therefore, the ghosts are right.
He's comparing this to like the fucking ghosts. Like, what is he talking about?
I get it. Drex is a dude who works all fucking day. He works a full-time job. He has several overtime shifts. And when he's not working, he's in his Discord. He's talking to people. He's doing whatever. Drex is not running to orgies all day to smash married women. He's talking about the past. And people interpret that as the now, or they say, oh, he must be lying or whatever. I don't know. You can only tell people so much. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy laughing at life, having a good time.
Oh man, don't expect me to like have a real hard stance on this on this situation, guys. I'm just a guy who likes to have fun on the internet. Don't expect me to do anything serious or like really like do anything with my life or address the controversy. Like, let me just like damage control real quick, and we'll move on to the next step. Like,
the whole point of this is that people have a very incorrect view of a lot of things that are going on, and they make very forceful assertions to the correctness of their assessment, as they have the right to do.
Nick Ricada did not take well to my discussion about him, even though it's like, I feel I was very fair to him.
Oh, what? I can't even watch that because I'm on incognito. Yeah, we're gonna have to go to Kiwi Farms and get caught up on some of this stuff. I think. Yeah. I don't know. I think Yeah, I actually haven't eaten yet today, so I probably should like stop the stream soon and like get something to eat. Maybe the next hour or something. Hmm. Okay. I don't know. I should probably end the stream. It's been like 3 hours. We'll probably just like go through some Kiwi Farms posts. I don't know. Like this is a big reason why I don't like covering Ricada right now, is because it's so boring. Like when you just watch it, it's just like. All right. I guess we'll let's see. Is that the wait? Hang on. Discord. The fuck? There it is. Okay. Like what the fuck was that? Okay. And I've gotta adjust this. The size is wrong. I guess it's fine. All right, here we are on Kiwi Farms. Yeah, what are their recent updates on Ricada Law? Yeah, everyone's just talking about the veto stuff. Is Drexel actually suing? Chat not a fan of Dick or veto. Let's see. Yeah, so much of this is just like compilations of like things that his chat is saying. Like this is the problem with Kiwi Farm sometimes. Is that like so much content is just like just documenting shit that no one cares about. Hmm. Yeah, this is fucking boring. But like I said, like it's been such a slow burn. Like it's been impossible to like stay invested in this. Yeah, I think I'm ready to end the stream. I can't think of like anything else I want to talk about. It doesn't feel like uh anything's really happening. It's just a giant circle jerk right now, unfortunately. Instead of the wrong page. Incognito. All right, Chad. Is there anything else we need to cover tonight? I feel as if I'm ready to stop. I want to work on my books. I don't think anything has happened. I guess we could like see if any. I guess we could look at Sean Alstrom. Let's see, has he done anything? PS4 game recommendations. I have seen the same story play out again and again. I saw it at the end of the Wii and DS. I saw it at the end of the SNES. I saw it during this NES. We are on the cusp of a major global depression. The macro is going to be fierce with it wins against them. While the Mario movie was great, that was then. It was this year, you fucking dipshit. They're going to put out another one. It was also due to the braced nature of still living Miyamoto, who doesn't have that much longer with us. I don't think the health of their IP is as good as they say. The Zelda IP is being warped into something else entirely. It will not be the same fandom as Power Zelda all these years. It begs to wonder whether or not there will be a fandom at all, since any game can put out open world. You are delusional if you think anything is going to take Zelda's market away from it. Yeah, I think we're ready to stop. Yeah, 3 hours was not bad. I mean, yeah, which is covering Ricada that kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit. Honestly, it's just like it's so boring and it's so depressing. Honestly, it's just like, ugh. Yeah, I think I'm ready to stop. I think I'm gonna chill and work on some books. Maybe record some videos. I don't have anything coming up for tomorrow, so I probably should like start talking about some things today. So yeah, thank you all for